What's going on, everybody? Y'all know what it is. Welcome to the BKE podcast. It is fully another week. It is finally March. It's almost
Yo,
that time for springtime. Y'all know what it is. I'm your host, CJ Lord. We got guests here today. We got our guest co-host, John Logic of the Ranters Union. Salute to the Ranters.
I think my studio about to catch on fire over here.
Salute to the
Hey,
My
man.
salute to the Ranters Union. Word. Salute to you, CJ. Thanks for having me.
Man, no problem, man. We
man.
also got Grammy Award winning producer Jason Salvador joining us once again for another week.
Thank you for having me again, brother.
Man, it's all good. It's a pleasure. Pleasure's all mine, man. I hope everybody had a great week. I hope y'all had a good week. I know I did. You know what I'm saying? I know I had a good week, and I'm ready to get this thing on the popping. It's the weekend. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to get this shit on the popping. You know what I'm saying?
This week went by fast for me, man.
Yeah, like it's like I blinked and then Friday was here. I don't know what the fuck happened to this week. It's like Monday was here, then it was Friday. I ain't complaining though. You know what I'm saying? I love a fast week, you know? But now when you got deadlines and shit. But man, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what's on the cracking, man. Y'all know how this show goes. We got the topic of the night. We talk about a specific topic and we really touch on that topic, which tonight we're gonna be talking about recognizing growth. All right. We're gonna be, asking y'all questions. Y'all can chime in. Where you at with your growth and are you satisfied or are you still continuing your growth? And we're gonna talk a little bit about that later on. All right. Yeah, I know we got some subtopics. So I hope you guys ready for that. We got some good topics tonight, actually. So
I think
I hope
so.
y'all ready. Make sure y'all, strap on y'all seatbelts. But before we do that, y'all know what it is. Y'all know we gotta get y'all the warning.
Warning. The opinions expressed in this program are those of the presenter in their current state of mind, which they have the right to change at any given moment. The iRant Network and the members of the Ranters Union are not responsible for any claims made. All opinions and train of thoughts are welcomed here and protected by the First Amendment and the Ranters Union. All commentary, criticism, news reporting, research, teaching, and or scholarship of copyrighted material is protected by the Fair Use Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. iRant Network and the founder of the Ranters Union, Logic, aka Mr. M, recommends that you take what is said and do your own research. Read a goddamn book and form your own opinion. Furthermore, listen carefully to the ranters rant and debate their opinions and form your own conclusion. Thank you for watching this member-supported program, powered by the Ranters Union and produced for the iRant Network. Good day.
So y'all know what it is. Let's get this shit on the cracking.
Is that Ding Rames?
Now that's something that actually John Lodge put together. So again, salute to the Renters Union. It's
Yeah,
always a pleasure.
the voice is the voice of Ralph Anthony Garcia. Ralph Garcia of the United Ronin Network. Salute to my brother.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Check out his channel called Ralph Reads or it's on the United Ronin Network.
Ralph reads words of Ving Rhames in Ving Rhames' voice.
That did sound like Ving Rhames a little bit. I ain't even gonna cap. But
I would have immediately just said yes if y'all asked me that question. Ving Rhames, of course it is.
but let's get this thing on and popping. We're
Let's
gonna
go.
start off with our first topic of the night. We're gonna start off with Kanye decapitation hits news. You guys haven't seen it yet. Kanye West and the Game released a music video called Easy, and in that video, Kanye West is decapitating Pete Davidson and plants his head inside of the dirt, and it sprouted a rose bush. Uh, the song is hot though. The song is hot, but he threw some bullets, threw some heavy bullets at Pete Davidson. Man, I thought this was gonna be like over and done with, but I was like, man, it was a little tragic, man. I mean, I was like, I
Okay.
don't know what the fuck to make out of this. Here you go.
You know what to make out of it? You know what to make out of it? Is that there's a number of things that you can make out of this. Number one, the dude is definitely not mentally there, but but what dude would be mentally there? Like when you're going through this kind of a divorce, you know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
there's really no issues between him and her. You get what I'm saying? It's just
Right.
the shit that swirls around them. That's one of the things. The other part of it is you got this dude who is probably the best fit dude for her to be able to deal with all that shit because he just doesn't he's not as emotional as all these other guys that have been around her, including him. It got to
See,
bother the shit out of Kanye that he has a formidable out like
like
opposite.
competition, right?
Yeah, but
Like,
at the same time,
and
this is a marketing ploy, bro.
yeah, I agree. I agree. But what you said was, it's like you would think that when Kanye and Kim got together, you thought that it was gonna be like a perfect mesh with the two, right? Like,
I thought
where
so. I really did think so.
yeah, like I thought so too. I thought them two was going to be like riding off into the sunset. They both got crazy ass backgrounds, and I think they could have meshed well. But now we here and we see like this divorce is like toxic. Like
No,
we've
no,
seen
it's
toxic
actually
divorces.
it's actually really not toxic between them, personally. The problem is her mom.
Okay.
I've known these people since I was in junior high school. I've known them longer than I know Kanye.
Right.
The mom is the problem. She's too heavily involved in the situation. Kim is like laid back, chill, easy going. Trust me, she's not causing any problems. She's well within her rights to like this new dude. You know what I'm saying? And it's just bothering
Right.
Kanye because it's just way too soon. But he was prancing around with a chick, so she should be able to do her thing too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
I
How
mean,
is
Now
the
I ain't mad at it.
she's holding on to all the kids for the most part.
how is the mother the problem, but he's doing videos about burying her new boyfriend? Isn't that isn't
That's
that
The
him
mother
being
is the problem because the mother sets up all of these looks. The mother set up the damn porn shoot. The mother set up the mother has been the architect behind this entire Kardashian situation. The mother is the problem. She's knee deep in all of their lives.
I think the problem is what he's presenting. You know what I'm saying? At this point, the relationship is already over as far as that type of relationship goes, right? That's still the mother of his children. They always gonna be family. But his
facts.
mother didn't the mother-in-law didn't direct this stupid ass video. You know what I'm saying?
The
Yeah.
mother-in-law did not direct a stupid video, but this is the point that I'm trying. This is what I was trying to get off. Like what CJ said. See, when Lamar Odom was with Khloe Kardashian, that shit that goes on with the Kardashians, that fucked with his head. Like Reggie Bush, all the shit that comes with the Kardashians, that fucked with his head. The light skinned dude from Minnesota, that fucked with his head. This shit, and I learned this from actually watching this the Netflix special. The things that surround Kim, like he had all that surrounding him already. She didn't bring
Right.
anything new into his life except for her devil mom. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like anything else, that's his shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the thing that's the
I feel you.
problem
Feel
is
you. I
bro,
feel you.
his mom. I've been around his mom a handful of times. I never really knew the dynamic between the two of them until I saw that documentary. His mom, and I'm saying this out loud, and he knows we know each other very well. One of my great friends. Yo, his mom fucked him up mentally, bro. Like his mom brainwashed him.
Mm.
Everything makes sense to me now about his behaviors after watching that shit. His mom put him in a tailspin, bro, and that's what this is all about. This whole thing is about his mom. Like it has nothing to do with the Kardashians. And
I
and
agree.
and and, and Kim had probably had to get away from him because he's just so out of his damn mind. And it just became like he just is not getting better.
I agree with Shan P, man. The moms ain't make Lamar Odom smoke crack. She ain't make Kanye do this video or put him in a
Not
verse.
that you guys don't understand that attention. You got a guy like Lamar Odom who used
If
to
I
move
can
out
finish,
in
if I can
silence.
finish, if I can finish,
Oh,
that's to me is just some corny behavior from that nigga. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who else did what. The only thing you control is what you do. So right now, this nigga's off the chain. That's some sucker shit. What he's doing right now. You know what I'm
who
saying?
Kanye or Lamar Odom?
What Kanye's doing. He's on some sucker shit.
Yeah, it's some sucker shit. But I mean, the thing about it is like he just sees it as it's marketing. We're talking about him right now because of it. Job well done.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Say so.
shoots, he scores.
Say so, man. He looks real butthurt right now. You
Yeah,
know,
man.
and to be a whole rapper out here to be crying over a female, you look crazy. Especially when
It,
you're taking it out on the dude. You know what I'm saying? Like you burying niggas' heads in music videos and talking about I'm gonna beat a comedian's ass and all this shit. You look crazy, bro. And we gave you a pass in the first place when you wifed up a chick who there's a whole video of her sucking dick and all this other crazy shit. We said whatever. Hey, the heart wants what the heart wants, right? But now you crying over and you beefing with the next. You looks crazy. He looks crazy. You know what I mean? And not just mentally crazy. He looks corny. He looks corny, bro. That's some corny shit.
I was there at the music video shoot when he met her when he did the song with Brandy. They did that music video. Remember back before his first album came out? Kim was the assistant, like the clothing coordinator or something like that. He's seen her. Every girl that he's seen since then looked exactly like her. It's been
he was in love.
completely
Man,
unhealthy.
you see that?
Completely unhealthy from the gate.
Yeah. Yeah. Like he you could tell he was in love. You know what I'm saying? You could tell the guy was in love. You know what I'm saying? Like you could tell like that was his end all be all. You know what I'm saying? And like with this divorce, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's becoming a little much because like this music video, I ain't gonna lie. There's a lot of people that's actually really concerned for Pete Davidson right now. You know what I'm saying? Like
There's no reason to be. There's no reason to be
it's
whatsoever.
no reason to be when you looking at this video though. Like this video, like the first part of the video was like, all right, cool, this is a cool video. But then when it started switching turns, the shit was like, God, this shit is a little dark. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, God damn, guy, like what's going on, yo? Like, and I was just like, man, you know that the shit was dark, man. And for, like I see why people was in concern, but it ain't no concern. You know, I don't think Kanye is
There
really
is a
setting out.
concern. Well, there is a
Yeah,
concern. And
yeah,
listen, any and all of us that are in his circle we are all concerned. We've been concerned, and it has nothing to do with him. Like I mean, the Pete dude, it has nothing to do with him.
right.
It's like, yo, that he does a million other things. He's erratic as hell.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely. I
bro, like
agree.
he wants,
Yeah.
listen, man, he wants, like he cannot be alone. He has to be supervised 24 hours by. I mean, he doesn't really have much family anymore that he fucked with.
Right.
It has to be like the close friends. A lot of people are leaving their, like a lot of people like that are a part of his immediate crew ended up becoming very successful. People like Don C, people like Ivan, you know what I mean? All these like you know what I mean, like the little cast and crew that he had around him, they all started going out and doing their own thing when he first started like to shun everybody. And
Right.
now they've all had to like they were all taking breaks from what they were doing because they're concerned. He has people around him at all times. Dame Dash damn near lives there.
Yep.
But should have told him don't do that video.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea, man. It looks crazy.
Trust me, that collective of people it's I'm here just to dispel the whole thing. Is like that thing right there is a marketing ploy. It's no different than the 50 Cent situation. It's just a little bit more off the reservation, clearly.
Like, dude, look at this shit though. Like this shit is
Like
dark,
some
my
art
nigga.
shit.
Like,
Look at that shit. Look at this like some art shit. Like they put thought into that. They had like a little arts and crafts class about this. Like,
yo, like,
everything was made on the ranch.
wow, yo. Like this shit is wild, bro. I was like, Jesus Christ. You know
What can we do now? But you know, R.I.P. Virgil. Now what's gonna happen? Now he got to find another genius quick, fast, and in a hurry. Virgil would have never let that happen.
Well, man, like, man, why we're talking about Kanye West in the game? Speaking of the game, uh, the game speaks out. the game speaks out, and he says that Kanye has did more for him in 2 weeks than Dr. Dre did in his whole career. And when I heard it, I'm not gonna lie, when I heard it, I was like, "What? You serious?" But then I had to think about it, and I'm like, "Yeah, like like I kind of see what he mean."
Kanye has been doing stuff for Game since
Yeah, he been doing stuff for
since
game
the
like
beginning
for
of his career, by the
yeah.
way. Yeah,
So
since the beginning of his career, straight up.
yeah, like definitely. So
Dre
I
does not.
think
Dre
I
does not
have it
claim.
here.
Dre does not claim that dude. When do you ever see Dre going around claiming him?
Never.
Anybody have any recollection of that?
Like
No.
honestly,
Yeah.
I give you this. It's like when they was talking about the Super Bowl and how Dr. Dre brought everybody, in the Super Bowl. The game wasn't never mentioned. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was like, the game brought on everybody who he influenced. It was like Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and Kendrick Lamar. But the mention of the game wasn't there. And I was like,
Game was
when
never
I
signed to Aftermath.
he was never signed to Aftermath, but Dr.
He was
Dre
never
still
signed
had
to
his hands. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. So here's the actual snippet of the conversation with what he had
I don't want to see that.
when he was on Nori. Give me one second. We're gonna pull this up real quick.
Yeah, we're not getting your audio.
Can't hear you. You gotta be a little louder.
Make sure your mix is set as your mic or
Oh,
just share the screen.
my fault. There you go. Over there. Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, there you go. All right, so I got it here. My bad, y'all. My bad.
Good, man. You good?
I'm kicked out the group. Well, guess what? You don't fucking kick me out of the group. I'm the G and G unit. Fuck you mean? This is what I'm saying again. The fans were like, yo, we need game on it. We do this. You drink that, I drink this bottle, bro.
Oh, come on.
Fuck this, man. Bro, I call fades behind that. Like, nigga, taking Crips on a tour while I'm a blood. Nigga, what do you mean? My own homies. I lost half of the game like that. It's crazy that Ye did more for me in the last 2 weeks than Drake did for me my whole career.
Do not try this at home, ladies and gentlemen. This is all professional.
Yo, he's known for doing that. He does that all the time. That's not the 10th or 11th or 15th time that he's done something like that.
50 wrote what you heard him write, what you heard him say on the record. Like, I don't understand what your question is. Like, when you heard 50 rap on the documentary, that's what he wrote. Nigga, obviously, that nigga didn't write shit for me. You niggas know I wrote 300 bars, nigga.
Right.
Was 50 there?
Killed them niggas.
I got a question.
Hey, hold on, wait. Look, I'm gonna speak on something you don't never speak on. What up, cuz? What up, blood? What up, gangster? Who you think wrote that? I'm gonna leave it alone.
Oh,
Stop playing. Yes, now he just don't be speaking. Bro just don't be beating his chest, bro. He likes a lot of shit. He can beat his chest.
all the shit that that I assisted my pen with on Aftermath, from Dr. Dre records to being in there with on the G Unit albums, and being in there right, at the tail, like the middle tail end of Get Rich or Die Trying. I ain't never said like, yo, I wrote this certain song, or I don't give a fuck about that, my nigga. Like if it's about writing shit and staying, I'm saying staying on point with your pen, nigga, it been 20 years, my nigga, and it's certain niggas that was, back then that, I was rapping with G Unit, the Groove, like, nigga, I'm here right now with a song on the top of the Billboard right now, nigga.
Shots fired.
Right, like right now.
That's a fact.
I came out in 2003, nigga.
Wasn't he signed to Dre in 2003?
I want to say yeah, but I don't think it was under Aftermath though.
Listen, guys. Once again, I know Kanye, grew up with him. I've known Game. Hey, listen, I come from Jimmy Henchman. For those that don't know, we managed him from the beginning. He never had another manager. Like the WAC 100 wasn't even around for any of that stuff. We were there. I was there. Like I'm responsible for the intro. I'm the one that brought the guitar player in for the intro of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you think that Kanye is involved? You know what I'm saying? Like I be looking at people sometimes like, yo, how do you think Kanye is on Keisha Cole's album?
Now we're not questioning his validity.
I'm just letting you guys know, like I'm just saying, like, so like I'm not. I was never a front runner. I was never a front runner with Game. I knew Game. I actually knew Game before I even knew Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? Like I connected them, trying to make some stuff happen between Game and Lupe back in the day. Game used to be the nicest, coolest dude in the world. But what Game had done was Game put out a series of mixtapes on some West Coast shit, but he sounded like an East Coast rapper. You know what I'm saying? And that sparked this whole situation. And he got himself signed over to Interscope. But for some reason, he couldn't. They were having problems breaking him. Because Game did not know how to write a record. Game is a spitter. Like he sit there just claiming he wrote 300 bars and running. Because he can go all day long. Just the same way like they can go all day long. But they need people. Lupe needs myself that can structure a record, bring in the right people to do hooks like that. So Dr. Dre and Jimmy are essentially, Dr. Dre is a silent partner of Interscope and has been since the fall of
right.
You know what I'm saying? So Jimmy can slap anything on Dre as a marketing ploy. Kendrick Lamar's never been signed to Aftermath either, by the way. They just slap him. They just slap the association right there. Compton. And that's it. Boom. They get the artist off, and then the artist takes off, and you don't ever hear a word about it. Game is the one that just keep begging for like an association, like a you know what I'm saying, like a cosign from dude. And Dre just sits there silent the entire time because that's what Dre does.
So in retrospect, what you're saying is us, the general public, they're going to tell us that they're signed to Aftermath, but they're not?
No, because guess what? When Game decides to say he's coming up off of Aftermath, it's like, oh, damn. Dre's from Compton. Game's from Compton. First of all, Game had never stepped foot in Compton for 15 years prior to that. He was living in Lancaster, in the desert. You know what I'm saying? His brother was out there, and his brother was active in the streets and all that stuff like that. But then he started with Game. But I'll tell you something, Game used to be like the nicest, calmest, chill dude in the world. But when he started to do the Aftermath thing, he inserted himself back into Compton, and he was out there, and he started to get with a bunch of dudes. And yes, I've seen Game run around and just cold clock people and just he started putting in work because he had to like do that. But he trying to prove himself, like, you know what I'm saying, that he was, worthy of what he was claiming. But the dude, the whole thing was a marketing ploy. And who was signed to Aftermath at the same time as they were using him as a
50.
50, and 50 was a genius. And who had all the big singles off of his album?
50
and Kanye.
Yeah. So I mean, it's crazy, man. I respect the game. You know what I'm saying? Like I respect the game. I respect everything that he's done.
Absolutely.
Everything that he's contributed to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So when he came
50
out,
was wrong in their beef, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wrong in their beef. Game didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. Game didn't do anything wrong, man. The only thing Game did is he just didn't adopt 50's beefs.
Right.
You know what I'm
You
saying? I
know,
think he
and
got caught like slapping hands with Fat Joe or something like that because Game was
yeah.
cool with everybody, bro. He was cool with everybody.
And so the crazy thing is that like when you sit back and look at it, there's a lot of people that be like, this is just like some other beef. Like it ain't beef, man. This is like some real like cold hard drama between two guys. You know what I'm saying? And like 50 was in the wrong for this, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a lot of beef that we like, not beefs, but like a lot of drama that we see with like these rappers back in the day versus what we see now with these rappers where, you know, like beef now be somebody says something in the video that a rapper ain't like. Where back in the day, like if beef was like last time we met up, you done did some shit and I ain't respect it. And then 20 years later, you still ain't address it. So yeah, I'm still feeling some type of way. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot that's happened, but I mean, like the evolution of hip hop has definitely changed. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, beef started off like we would just get up on some cardboard boxes and just start pop locking against each other, breakdancing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the beef. You know what I'm saying? And now people, you know what I'm saying? Or then it went from bats and chains to guns and all other kind of stuff. And for instance, like Lupe, when I was working with Lupe had this beef with this dude Terry Kennedy that was signed to Pharrell's skateboard team,
Mhm. Right.
and this dude that runs this fashion company now that's a pretty big company. The company is called Diamond, and it turned to be a big streetwear company. And the dude, he's the one that put the bug in Terry's ear, made him do this song against Lupe. Talking about Lupe was infiltrating this whole situation, and what ended up happening is like I ended up catching a whole bunch of situations like while we'd be moving around on the road.
Yeah.
What are you crying? I'm just trying to prove the point is like the beef. We were getting death threats because of something stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like something dumb that somebody sparked up as a marketing ploy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what happens. People they start these little things that just they carry on, and the problem is never me being worried about, like, say for this, if I'm going at Game or I'm going at 50, I'm not worried about 50. I'm not worried about Game. I'm worried about people like that right there who just put that comment in. You know what I'm saying? Like these nobodies that are like the fans and stuff like that are just gassed up by a situation, and that's what becomes dangerous. So those are the people that you got to watch out for because those are the people that you don't see coming.
Well, here's the thing though. It is 20 years. Like it ain't 20 years, but I would say like a decade. You know what I'm saying? It's like this built up drama, right? And sometimes it's just like, man, you still mad about that?
But
Like,
he's not mad. Why is he being asked about those songs?
I mean, that's true too.
He's not mad about
That's
anything.
true
He just
too.
wants
It
to get
was
past
brought up. It was brought up. You know what I'm saying during the interview. So sometimes whoever is on that interview ain't got no control over what's going to be asked,
What
right?
should he
it.
say?
And as a press person, you're supposed to ask those questions to ignite that, right?
She,
My bad, John.
what should say? She said a grown man crying about what happened 20 years ago.
He's not crying about it. He's still being bothered about it. He's been past it. You get what I'm saying?
I don't
I've
know, man.
been waiting for detox for 2 decades. 2022 is the
That
year.
shit ain't never
Detox is
coming up.
never gonna happen.
I don't know, man, because he being asked about what Kanye's doing for him. He ain't have to bring Dre up. He obviously still feel away.
Yeah, and that's how I took it. To be honest with you, that's how I took it. Like he could have easily said, Kanye has been very, hands on with my career these past couple of weeks, and left it at that. But you can tell that there's still like a nerve there that was pinched. When like I mean, it happens.
I
Because
It
understand
happens.
this. I
Jimmy
understand
went to
this.
Dre. Jimmy went to Dre. Jimmy Iovine went to Dre to get Game's thing like it and like to slap his arm around him, and it didn't happen until Kanye produced Dream, and he reached out to Dr. Dre and talked Dr. Dre into mixing the record. And Kanye had a little part into that situation because he was trying to bait Dre into mixing uh late
And that was
registration.
a dope ass fucking song too.
Ah,
Sat
shit.
right there and watch Kanye say to Dr. Dre, I
Shit,
will
please.
name the album Kanye West late registration mixed by Dr. Dre. And Dre was looking
Yeah,
at it like,
he
Yes.
feels away because he wanted to be at the Super Bowl dancing and kneeling for what?
Yep. He wanted to be at the
but
Super Bowl.
he's
with the
not
white
like
Eagles.
he wanted that because like the Super Bowl was here at the crib, it was here in LA, and he wanted to be there. But guess what? Because he chose to stay out of the way and kind of hide himself because of that court case that he just had with this settlement, because he's trying to, you know what I'm saying, he's hiding his bread. He made himself irrelevant.
I mean,
And then you
and
want
shit
relevance?
like that happens. Shit like that happens, man. And sometimes, can't be mad at it if you chose to stay away. You know what I'm
You
saying?
chose to stay away. And Dre has, first of all, has never had anything to do with you, bro. It's just you running around rapping about Tupac and Eazy-E and Air Force Ones and Dr. Dre every song. Let it go already. Jesus Christ. Nigga still claims Aftermath and Dr. Dre in every single song. Like,
Facts. Facts.
is
Why
there
we
one
talking
song
about
that he hasn't mentioned one of those people? Tupac, Eazy-E, Air Force Ones.
while we talk about the West Coast, we're gonna talk about Snoop Dogg making another major move. And let me tell you something. Since Snoop has acquired Death Row, this man has been making moves, right? Snoop Dogg has just acquired masters to Dr. Dre's The Chronic and other classic Death Row albums. Question is, how the
Is that
fuck did
legitimate,
he
or
do
does
it?
he have a portion of it?
No, he has when he acquired Death Row, he promised some singles previously unavailable on digital streaming platforms that would eventually resurface, including the single Deep Cover. Includes the single Deep Cover, which introduced Snoop to the world pretty much. And he said in the interview that he bringing all that back. He got all of that. He said he got everything. He said, he wants to mix it, remaster it, go over it, and just give it some just give it some like some history, some classic West Coast vibes. And he also was talking about puffing on blunts that featured Daz Corrupt and Lady of Rage, produced by Dre. And he said, man, he said he's about to just go ahead and just remaster everything. Like he said, he got Doggy Style, he got the Dog Father, Murder Was the Case, the Dog Food, Above the Rim. He got all the records, man. He got all the records. So
I think it's a genius move on Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre's behalf to have allowed him to do that. And
yeah.
if you guys aren't aware, everybody that's in the room right now, if you guys go to this website that's called Sound Royalties, I want to say it's called. I don't know if you're familiar.
Hmm.
Everybody is putting up their catalogs right now for auction. You can buy, like, they have bundle situations and stuff like that. I'm sure, like, so Snoop probably got a temporary. I mean, people can go and you can buy masters. Like, say for instance, like if Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre own the masters, they're the real owners of the masters of Death Row. Snoop probably took a 7 to 10 year lease out on it to wake the catalog back up.
I mean, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Why not? There's nothing that Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre could do to
But I know that shit had to be fucking expensive though. That shit wasn't cheap.
it. Can't it sometimes it's not really that expensive. I don't even see it being that expensive, to be quite honest with you, because what you can do is you can actually purchase catalogs the same way you purchase stocks or cryptocurrency. You can purchase it in, you know what I'm saying, sections.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's up. That's dope. I mean, I'm down to finally hearing like some classic Death Row tracks on Spotify and Tidal and shit like that. We still can't hear that shit to this day. There's some shit that hasn't been released because of the whole Death Row thing that is finally about to release possibly. So I'm definitely going to be definitely locked in and tuned into this. This is like this is major. So when I read about this, man, I was like, man, this shit is dope.
I think
Like
it's a super dope look.
hell yeah, man, hell yeah.
But I mean, like those masters, the pie is cut up so much. Because think about like all the Tupac stuff. There's no way that he has a hold on that, because Tupac stuff got released back to his family.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to talk to him about that. Like, a master is just like a pie; it just gets chopped up. What I'm saying, you don't think Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre still have their pie in there?
So here's the question though, and I want to ask both of y'all. With Snoop Dogg, finally like owning Death Row Records, which honestly, it was his from the jump. Like we can all agree that Death Row is his, is his to own and rebrand, right?
You
So
can own the
like,
company, but that doesn't mean you own the masters, though.
absolutely,
Yeah.
that's why he did what he did. He like, look, I can't own Death Row. I can't own Death Row and not own the masters. Like that's like owning a hotel and not being able to fix the shit up yourself. Like it's just that shit ain't right. We got a question for you, Jace.
Yeah, I see this question. I think this is an
How
important
do you
question.
feel about non-black and non-people of color running the industry behind hip hop, R&B, Latin, etc. music?
I gotta say this thing the right way. Um, I think that I don't think I feel as strongly as like someone like one of my mentors, Dame Dash, the way that he feels about it. Like for instance, like the way that Dame Dash like speaks about Leor Cohen and stuff like that, like about these people owning this stuff. Like Leor, I've seen Leor do a lot of shit for the culture, and it's like, it's like, for instance, if there are people of non-color running this industry, then what are we doing as people of color to change that? And that's the travesty, is we don't take the ride that those people take. You could easily knock a lot of those people out of their space. I mean, we did it with radio. You know what I mean? There are a lot of situations where we nudge our way in, and there's a way to do that. You know what I mean? Like how many of us are members of the Grammy in your local city? You have a radio show right now. You have a radio show, bro. Like, are you guys Grammy members?
Oh
You
no,
should
I'm
be
not.
Grammy members. You should be a part of the voting process. You know what I'm saying? Like, if people have a problem with the way the Grammys are showing up, like and the way that the awards are being distributed, is because that we're not there. I know I'm a member. You know what I'm saying? Like I go to all the meetings, I go to all this stuff. You have to insert yourself. It's the same way as just with government. It's just we just don't do it. So how do I feel about it? I feel ashamed of us as people, but I'm not mad at the people that are running it, because they're putting in work. You know what I mean? Like, now there's a lot of pieces of shit. Like, I like a handful of them. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, the chairman of Atlantic Records, Craig Kalman. I love him. There's nothing anybody can say bad about him to me. He taught me a lot of things. I loved Jimmy Iovine. Jimmy Iovine and Craig Kalman, as far as being two white people that had supreme power. Like, they run on a global level. You know what I'm saying? Like, they taught me one thing that is number one in business now. It's called compromise. It's like, you get one, then I get one. You know what I'm saying? It's not always I'm gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we feed off of each other. You know what I'm saying? Like so when we have an issue, and you express to me that this issue is really important to you, then I have to give you that one. And I'm gonna look at you and be like, yo, I got the next one. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was dealing with I bring up Lupe again, like one of the great examples. I had a misunderstanding with Craig over Daydreaming that he did with Jill Scott.
One of my favorite records, by the way.
And Craig produced that record, and Lupe had a problem with it, and he didn't want it to happen. And I was like, yo, we're gonna make this happen. That's one for you, Craig. So then when Superstar came around, Craig tried to give me a $30,000 budget for the video. I was like, are you out of your mind? That's the first single. This is our second album. This is going to be something big. He goes, just tell me what you want. And I put the theory to the test. I want $350,000. He goes, done. That's exactly how the conversation went, because it's compromise. You get one, I get one. So there's two people, Jimmy Iovine did that, and Craig Howman has done that. Now there's some other people that are a little bit more sensitive and emotional. I'm not very fond of Lior. With Lior is very tactical. He's very street. He's very much about himself, which is, should we not be about ourselves if we're in this business? We're not in this business to be making friends and making our opposition money. You know what I'm saying? Like, people get mad when they get a contract from Puff Daddy, or they get a contract from Lior and all these different people, right? Like, but you take a contract and then you sign it without getting a lawyer or having anybody consult you. You know what I'm saying? Like how many times I've seen people do that out of pure desperation. Like, you got to take your time. We have to do better about teaching ourselves how we need to heal first, and then we can be competitors in this game. You know what I mean? So how do I feel about it? I mean, I hate it, but I mean, like, I don't know anybody that's a better, I don't know anybody that I can say would be better at doing it. The one person that I think that should be in this industry right now that's not in this industry, and I think he should be running Def Jam, is Irv Gotti. Outside of that, I don't know who else belongs in this.
Well, he asked you, he ain't asked me, but I think it's important not to minimize certain strategic things that are just American corporate business and entertainment, including from the very beginning. You know what I'm saying? So for the fact that I understand right now the goalpost has been moved when it comes to distribution, but traditionally, before things went streaming, which you may feel that's a good or bad thing, before things went to streaming, there were only 3 major distribution chains that no matter who you were coming from, you had to go through. So if we don't own a piece of that and we can't compete on that level, then we're going to have situations where the first black billionaires off of hip hop come in our lifetime when they should have been 40 years ago, because we can't even
40 years ago.
Right, because we didn't control the distribution. So now,
you know what? Someone has been controlling everything this entire time, and it's been a black man. But most people don't understand, and that's Clarence Avant.
As far as distribution,
as far as anything is concerned, like he says, whatever he says, it goes. Period. Wow. I have a deal at Disney right now because of him. And you know what took me in to get that deal at Disney? By his order, Al Heyman.
That's cool. You're talking about a lot of people personally. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about
he said it would go.
But I'm talking about a system. I'm talking about systematic oppression. You know what I mean? That is also in the music industry, just like it's in any other.
We have to break the wheel. I agree with you 100%. We don't disagree on that. We have to break the wheel, but we have to break the wheel. Like
I don't disagree with you on that neither, right? But we talking about what was and what is. You feel me? So hip hop is still fairly young. Hip hop is only 40-something years old, but at the same time, that's why we in that position that the brother Virginia Slim asked about. You feel me?
Okay, so let me give you another example about that. This is a great topic. So, for instance, and I'm not even gonna lie, I'm gonna be completely honest. One of my partners, 1500 or nothing, Laurent, came up with this idea that we should start a school. This was about 5-6 years ago. I was totally against it. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, yo, our business is too young. We're just now popping. We don't got time to be doing a school right now. We're catching fire as producers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I lost the vote on that. You know what I'm saying? And so we built this school, and it's been the most incredible thing that's ever happened to us. And I couldn't be more proud and more happy that I lost that vote, because of the fact that I've seen the impact that it's made on the community, and then I've seen what it's actually done for me personally. What it's done is it put me in a position where I'm dealing with City Hall, I'm dealing with politics and the mayors and the city councilmen and different stuff. And like we got our own holiday in the city of Los Angeles, and now I'm starting to see what the process is on how things go and how these decisions are being made, and I'm seeing us being absent at these town hall meetings and these, you know what I'm saying, these local votes and stuff like that. When like we sit around and we sit and we're so concerned about Biden or Trump, who should be the president, but I don't hear anybody talking about what's happening with your local government Because when's the
Exactly.
last
I've been
time
saying this for a
Biden
while.
or Trump actually affected your personal life? The people that affect your personal life is your city councilman, your local senator, your local congressman, you know what I'm saying, the mayor of your, and you can be in the middle of that, and they are easily accessible. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I've learned a lot of things about all this stuff like that. And that's why I feel good now about having these conversations or being in a barbershop or something like that when everybody wants to talk about what they think that should be done or what they can be done. And I'm sitting here, I sit here to tell you, I'm doing it. I have a school. I'm teaching young black kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving them an education. I'm affecting my community in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? I'm building my community up, and there's proof right there. So boom, it's just about taking action. And it was actually easier done than it was when we first talked about doing it. I was like, damn, we got to get started a company. We got to do a business proposition and all this kind of stuff like that. Then we even had to write, like, you know what I'm saying, our syllabus out, all this kind of stuff like that, man. But it was like, yo, just chipping at things one thing at a time. Boom, we're at the top of the heap, and it's done nothing but great for our actual music business. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah. And man, that's great. Like you told me the story before with the 1500 school. You know what I'm saying? That's dope. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely agree with you. I've been saying that for years where, a lot of people look at these presidents and, they complain about the presidency and how they run in America. Like the government runs America, but you choose who runs your community. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be that person that wants to make the change inside of your community. You make the change in your community first. Be trying to run the country. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to run home. You gotta be
exactly.
able to run your own home before you can run the whole the whole nation. You
You
know
know,
what
you
I'm
know,
saying?
you know what's
So
really crazy, bro? Listen, let me tell you something. Like as an adult, the only person that ever affected me personally and in my pocket was Barack Obama in a negative manner. How about that? Like, our first black president is the one that actually like took money out of my pocket. Like I used to get all kind of tax benefits and refunds and all kinds of stuff like that. Yo, Barack with his, the Obamacare thing, it destroyed me damn near for a year financially.
Well, I definitely agree. You got to be the change you want to see. I salute anybody doing that. Me personally, I'm definitely for breaking the will, but that will is you're not going to really break it. You can only create your own. You know what I'm saying? So that's a real uphill battle. You know what I mean? So I'd rather create my own. I'd rather create awards shows than go support the Grammys and shit like that. That's just how I move. You know what I mean? But
I've
then
never set foot in the Grammys, and we won Grammys every 5 years every year since 2005. You know
right,
what I'm
but
saying? And listen, if we go back to what you were saying, listen, COVID and streaming has given us the greatest opportunity of all time. Now the
absolutely.
game has been wiped clean. We're all starting from the start line. So now
The level,
everybody has
the
a chance to make it.
playing field is definitely a little level. You know what I'm saying? But they still run certain major industries. You know what I'm saying? So even when it comes to streaming and shit, you know what I mean. Even though it may be good on a lot of levels, when it comes to the bottom line on how you're going to get paid from it, you know what I mean. They still run those channels. You feel me? Even when you look at Instagram and YouTube and TikTok superstars and shit. You got people of color, black, indigenous people of color making great content, getting all types of hits. But for some reason, it'd be that white girl that become a millionaire, or that, you know what I mean, or that young racially ambiguous kid, you know what I'm saying, Ryan, when there's like another black family doing great content. And my son watches Ryan, but at the end of the day, we don't make those lists. And that shit seems like it's on purpose. How? We make some of the best content. How the fuck we not on those?
Because it has to do with the execution and how you execute these situations. That's what it has to do with. To be quite honest with you, like and we can have this disagreement help in a healthy manner because I'm in the middle of it and I've seen it work and I've seen it not work for certain people. This is one of like I'm not the smartest music executive in the game ever. I never have claimed to be. What I've always been damn good at is execution and seeing things through. And you know what? Execution is hard as fuck. And it definitely beats on you when you're trying to fight that uphill battle that you're talking about. but I've always been able to do it, and I've always been able to do it successfully, and I've always gone against the grain. So no one, listen, you can talk about anything that I've had my hands on. We can go about it right now and do the research. I've always gone against the grain, and I've ended up making hits when there's not the time to be making a hit of that manner. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like me putting Lupe out in the manner that I did when I did Keisha Cole, when I did Neo. You know what I'm saying? Like I used the two of them, and I had to fight the labels on both times. Both of them, the label came out with these up-tempo records because they thought that was the thing to do to keep up with the trend. I insisted on making sure that those two came out with ballads. And they ended up, the ballads are the things that ended up becoming the songs that they were most known for. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm talking to Virginia Slim's point. You know what I mean? I like to keep shit one way. So, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about the individual wins or like how we can manifest things. I've manifest things, you know what I mean, that came from my idea and it came into the real world. And no matter what, you know, was in my way, I made it happen. I get all of that, but we still don't run these industries. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what
you
he's
can
asking.
run these industries, and you need to grab a hold of it now. Is what I would say to you, because these labels, those three majors that you discussed earlier, they're already buying up all of these independent distribution companies and putting money behind them, and so people can get money from that quote unquote independent thing right now. So there's already starting to slow up the situation so that everybody knows, like, what you have to do is you have to do something like what we did with 1500 and Nothing, what we did with First and 15th Records. We never go to them. We make them come to us. And then you can control your situation. The moment that you go in there begging somebody for something or trying to like proposition somebody, like, first and foremost, if you're not going to meet with the CEO of the company, you're meeting with an employee who does not have the permission to sign you or cut a check that is going to be of any kind of significance in your life. So you're wasting your time, by the way. So do things that make them come to you. And then you start to control the environment. You control the ecosystem. You control what's going on.
That's a fact, Slim. He said they've been
Amen.
running shit since Chuck Berry was making records. It's hard to break the overall system.
Listen, if you guys, so he probably has not heard of 1500 or Nothing.
But once again, we're not talking about individual victories. You know what I'm saying? Because
An individual victory is an example of how you can do things like that, because now we do something where we control our finance, we control the way that we move, the way that we move, period. We're all members of the Grammys. We're all members of the Oscars.
So check this out. I hear what both of y'all saying, right? You know what I'm saying? Where Logic is talking about the overall system, right? It's like you can have as many individual accomplishments, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the 1500 school, right? You know, but at the end
like
of the
Tech Nine
day,
that we about to bring up, or like Tech Nine, but good.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, you know,
Look at James Fauntleroy, for instance, our songwriter that we have. I consider him number one songwriter in the music
yeah,
industry
but
right now.
check this out though, right? You know, the system is always going to be the system, right? You know, and
The
that's
system says that you're not supposed to deal in cash, right? Whenever you do something with a label, what are you supposed to get? A PO number. A PO number is supposed to go into the system, and that's what's going to end up paying you out a check. James, this will specifically say, I'm not doing shit unless you show up with a brown paper bag of $30,000 cash. Then I'll step into the studio. There's never been a day in music industry history that someone's been able to show up with cash and be able to turn it around in a 24-hour instance. It's the chipping away at things. You're not going to just come with a fucking sledgehammer and break that damn wheel. You have to knock a spoke out at a time and put yourself in the position and stay in that position. You get what I'm saying? Like I go out of my way.
yeah.
Go out of my way to make sure that we are doing something.
And you know, like
the first 3 months of the year, I go out of my way to make sure that we do something out of the first 3 months of the year. That's my challenge every single year, to make sure that we have something that's Grammy worthy, to make sure that we're either nominated or winning, and make sure that we are in the fucking talk and in the know-how every year, because I know that's the one thing they want. They don't want to see us there again. And you know what? After all these years, I never have stepped foot in that place. I feel you completely, John. I'm telling you right now. I think the only thing that we're just disagreeing on, this is where I disagree with everybody, is like everybody keeps talking about the past and this and that and what we're still not getting, but it's like, yo, look, we're getting it. This is proof. You know, and you want to discredit something. You say, I don't want to talk about an individual success story, but it's like, this is a real success story. And if we listen to this success story, we should all take note and start to do that in your community and in your places. And then that's how you put the chokehold on the situation. Because we're better than all of them.
But nobody never said they don't want to hear about individual victories, though. You know what I'm saying? Let's not get it misconstrued, because I wasn't even disagreeing with you either, right? So you can't take it personal. What I'm saying is that you're talking about individual victories. We all can talk about those. I know other people with those. I have them of my own. We all here on this panel have individual victories, right? But he's talking about the systemic problem when he says the people running the industry. You see what I'm saying? So it's not negating nothing. Nobody interrupted you on the level of saying we don't want to hear it. Nobody. What we didn't do is say congratulations. I'll say that. Congratulations on what you did. But nobody.
But I didn't say?
Nobody is, you know what I mean, negating or minimizing anything that you're saying or doing. But I'm just saying, I think what he's asking more about is that system. You see what I'm saying? Those people that still run it. You know what I mean? We can get money within it, but we still see evidence, even when shit switched to streaming, of that racism and that non-control that we don't have of the overall foundation of a lot of this shit. You know what I mean?
So when that happened, right? I'll tell you one last story in regards to this whole part of it. When the meeting happened, and there was definitely like a Illuminati meeting type of thing that happened with all of the heads of every, major, agency, record label, all that kind of stuff. They had all met. I just happened to be in the lobby of Atlantic Records in New York when Craig Kalman, the chairman, came in, and he goes, "Man, I just had this crazy meeting, basically with everybody," and he goes, "We're not going to be selling CDs anymore. We're going to be going to streaming." And I was like, "What?" Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. He goes, "We're gonna," it's like, the way the business is gonna be run is it's gonna be, you're gonna pay $8 to $11 a month. It's gonna be like a utility bill. It's gonna be like water, something like that. He specifically said that. He goes, and then you're gonna get as much music as you want for free. That's how we were. That was what ended up coming about as far as us defeating piracy, because we did not know how to defeat piracy. We didn't know, and it took us the longest for us to even figure out the streaming part of it. Once they knew what they wanted to do, they still didn't even know how they were going to handle YouTube and Vivo, which all the labels basically had a hand in, and they all had a hand in Spotify as well. They all own that company together. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, this is why I have a retirement account to this day, because I've witnessed them all pulling out at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I knew what was going on there. But the point is the advice that was given to me, and this is what people just can't seem to like wrap their head around. So let me say it in public on video. This is going to be the first time I've ever done this. Is I'm going to tell you the same exact thing that was told to me. Get over it when it comes to the music. Just get over it. Like, people are so attached to their music. Like, now that I'm actually like a producer and I produce music and I know how much I can turn around in a day, get over it. Like, the music is a promotional tool now to the other thing that you have going on. Your t-shirt company. You know what I'm saying? Your music video, like whatever you got going on. Like, it's music now is a promotional tool. It's for free pretty much. So people have got to like disattach themselves from the music. You have to understand your business. The business has changed. Now you have to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to change, or you're not gonna win.
So we're going to table this. We're going to table that topic. For the time being, and we still got a little bit more topics that we got to get through. All right, that was actually a real good topic to talk about.
One last thing, bro. One last thing before we table it. I just want people to understand something. Know your business. Know where the profits come from. So if you're doing music, right, think about where all your money actually comes from. If you're doing music, whoever brags about their royalty checks, but people brag about what they're making on tour and what they make off of merch. When I was doing stuff with Justin Bieber was getting damn near $3 million a night, and he was getting about another $700,000 a night on merch. Touring and merch and publishing are the top three things that you're gonna get. Your royalty check is like,
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's it.
again, Jason. No, Jason, I appreciate your knowledge and your knowledge and your wisdom that you're giving. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who actually needs to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely we appreciate you. It's always a pleasure. I love having you on here because it'd be so fun. It'd be fun. You should get crazy a little bit, like the last time when I had you and Justice on and shit like that. So definitely, man.
So
But
this is a great conversation because I take this very serious, and I want us to have an audience because I want us to know what the deal is. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely,
We
yeah.
need to know what is going on. Like we need to know. Like people would always complain about the 360 deal, even as well. If I may just one more time, the 360 deal is the best thing that ever happened to us, in my opinion. If you know
Well,
how to
yeah,
negotiate that
yeah.
shit, listen, it actually works against the major labels and it works for us. Period.
Absolutely,
It works for us
absolutely,
if you know how to negotiate it.
absolutely. Why we
Yeah,
still
it's just
talking
about
about?
educating people about. That's what I was always doing on Clubhouse. That's how you got to know me. I want to educate
Yeah,
people
and
about
and
everything that they need to do, and then we don't have none of these excuses
but
or
you
or, or,
also,
or,
but
or
you,
rights, or you know what I'm saying, anything like that. We have to attack things.
yeah, absolutely. And you know me, I've always been about attacking the basis of it. You know what I'm saying? So definitely. But I also want to also say that while we're talking about music, I do want to get through these few other few topics that is also
Oh,
music
my
related,
bad.
right?
I love you,
And
Josh.
and
Love, love. They said in the chat they said Illuminati gonna get you because you just admitted it's real. You know what I mean? So
They can
gotta,
come. They can come.
gotta miss everybody.
They can come. I'm a real one.
oh shit,
Uh,
oh shit. But in other news, man, Wu Tang suing NYPD. Wu Tang Clan producer True Master is suing the NYPD for the false arrest of a 4-year rape allegation.
mm,
So if you guys ever
Who got
heard
raped?
of so if you guys ever heard of Derek Harris, is also known as True Master. According he was at Rikers Island for 4 years after being falsely accused of a 2011 sexual assault.
Oh, he definitely got
And
raped. He definitely got raped.
afterwards, afterwards, the DNA evidence proved that he didn't commit the crime, but he still wound up behind bars for 4 long years. And just recently, the attorney Ben Crump are suing the New York City Police Department for false imprisonment. On Thursday, this past Thursday, Crump and two other attorneys filed a 76-page complaint alleging that he was both a victim of the false accusation and the violent arrest, as well as an exhaustive 5-year legal battle to get the charges dropped. Harris's legal teams also claimed that during that time, members of the NYPD has falsified and hid evidence that would have cleared him of any wrongdoing before his 2015 partial acquittal and eventual vindication from the crime in 2020. In less than 24 hours after the legal documents were filed, Jizza shared a screenshot of the Vice article to his Instagram page and wrote, "We're with you, Trumas." He also
No,
shared
you're
a
not.
change.
No, you're not with him. No, you're not.
He also shared a change.org petition calling for the termination of arresting Officer Papen and the news release from Ben Crump's press conference in which he announced the filing at the U.S. District Court for the Seventh District of New York. I mean, I'm like, damn, yo, like, dude had did 4 long years of some shit that he ain't do.
Let me tell you something right now. That case right there just proved how fucking dirty that the RZA is. Period. And it proves how dirty everybody else that's a part of Wu Tang that actually had a little bit of change in their pocket. Because I know all of them don't. But whoever had enough money to get that man out of jail on bail should have done so. Period. To leave him in that madhouse is ridiculous.
Well, it's also New York City too.
Happen to you.
It's also New York City too. Like I'm when I heard it was about like like the New York City police department and like just the
That
whole
needs to get
justice
cleaned up. That needs to get cleaned up.
New York alone has always had some like some shady business when it comes to like the justice system. You know what I'm saying? So
What?
Well, we don't know if he had bail. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah, we don't know if he had bail.
Yeah, we should have bail, but we don't know.
What was his charge?
Rape.
Yeah, he was like he was in charge for like sexual assault and I think if I'm not mistaken, if I could remember, because I actually remember when the whole trial and stuff. If I could remember, it was like a severe. It was like one of the I think it was like the first degree rape allegation, like a first degree or second degree, something like that. And yo, Steph got jokes. What's up with you, bruh? Salute.
Chicken wing. What up, man?
Salute my guy Steph.
So here's the crazy thing, right? Even after his acquittal, he still did like 4 to 5 years in Rikers Island. It's not just a regular prison like we're talking about.
Not.
Right?
No, it's not.
It's not just like a regular like like DC City Jail and shit like that. You know what I mean? This is like the bottom of the barrel where like low lives and ain't shit motherfuckers go. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and they put him there and they made sure he stayed there for a long time, right? And people's like, oh, it's just 4 years. 4 years is a long fucking time, yo. Like 4 years is a long fucking time. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm even looking at it like 5 years ago. I was like, damn, 5 years ago it was 2017. Like,
Bro,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I did 6 months I did 6 months recently in the second worst jail in the country, being an LA County jail, and a black person with the last name Salvador that's not siding with the Mexicans is a death warrant in itself. And I got sentenced to a year, and I ended up doing like 6 months. And trust me,
that's crazy, dude. You did
it's not
4
easy.
years. Man.
It is not easy, bro. It is not easy, and that place is a damn. The thing about that place is that whole jail is known to be just kind of dirty. Like in LA County Jail, there's certain tiers and certain floors that are dirty with cops, but those guys, man, they're actually like they're involved in the whole drug trade. So like, cause the cops and the people that work the jails are rookie sheriffs. Basically, you have to be in order to be an actual sheriff, you have to spend your first 2 years as a jail CO. So it's tough, man. So there's no rules in there, man. There is no rules. They let the prisoners run the prison for the most part.
So
they know they're outnumbered.
Logic. Let me ask you this. So I did see Virginia Slim. He did ask you if you did consular work in Rikers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So seeing hearing about this Wu Tang suing NYPD, about the wrongful allegations of rape and having to stay in Rikers Island. Like what you doing counselor's work, you actually got to see Rikers, for yourself. So like what is like we've all heard like the shitty things about Rikers Island, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like even judges used to like threaten the accused. It's like if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna send your ass to Rikers. You know what I'm saying? So how bad is Rikers actually?
Definitely got a reputation, you know what I'm saying? Thank God I never had to be there as an inmate. But yeah, I went inside. I had to go inside to do the actual council work and workshops and all that. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's worse with it. First of all, Rikers Island, what we have something called the bookings. So the bookings is where you go when you first get arrested, and you're either gonna go home from the bookings in the day, or you're gonna get sent to another space where you gotta stay until you beat your case, or if you don't beat your case, then they send you upstate. That's where you do the rest of your bid, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like it's a purgatory, if you will. It's an in-between thing, you know what I mean? So it's Rikers Island, the worst part is where the adolescents are. Where the adolescents are, the young boys and shit, that's where is the worst traditionally. You know what I'm saying? And then the adults, they get busy too, obviously, but the adolescents, you know what I mean? The motherfuckers between like I'm gonna say 17 to 20 something, you know what I mean? They got it the hardest. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say that. Yeah.
Most definitely, most
The
definitely.
problem with New York City. Now, New York City has a lot of work that they need to do. Problem with New York City is the way that it was originally developed and architect. They got people on top of people on top of people in these small. They're like sardines in a can.
That's in a lot of major
Why,
cities,
in
though.
general, most of New Yorkers have all attitude problems. Like, it's like it's a big difference between people from New York and then someone like myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be great. Like, listen, I've lived in New York and also like that, like that. Like, yo, you have all these people that are crammed together. You're gonna be angry. Like, we're here in LA, we're spread out. We can breathe. Palm trees, sunlight. It's a totally different experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, being somewhere
You're also one of the biggest states as well. You know what I'm saying?
one of
So
the biggest states with one of the and the majority of the population is crammed into nothing.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So like the hood people are crammed into nothing. Like it's just it's like you don't even have a chance. And the thing about it is like when you have all these people and then you have just enough departments like you know what I'm saying, like Section 8 and all these different things like that, they or even the law system, they can't get to your case fast enough because they have a stack like this. You know what I'm saying? So like and none of us can afford lawyers, right? So the world works against you in that case. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta if you don't have a pay lawyer, because if you have a pay lawyer, that's the first people that they're gonna see. Just leave us alone. No. Trust me. Y'all are different. Y'all are totally different than people like us out here in LA. I got family that's out there, man. Like you guys are totally different. And it makes sense. It makes sense. You guys are stacked on top of each other. There's no room to move around. Guys are it's cluttered and crammed. And it's like there needs to be some urban planning that's going to start giving you guys some space to start taking some advantage of that real estate that you guys have, being one of the biggest states in the country. You not agree? Like, where you from, Logic?
I'm from New York City.
Oh, all right, but where in New York?
Far Rock.
I don't know if I've ever been there before. Like, what's the capacity looking like over there? Like, y'all, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of projects. I've never seen so many projects in my life. There's only like 3 or 4 projects here in LA, bro. Like, y'all got projects on every other corner.
Yeah, we definitely got a handful of projects. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a peninsula.
Those are never good situations. Like, have you ever been in a project elevator that smelled fresh and daisy clean?
Nah.
They all smell like, you ever walked up the stairs that did not smell like piss?
So you saying that's because everybody's stacked on top of each other?
I live in a building. I don't see anybody pissing in my elevator or doing any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like got a little bit of room to move around. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
But then you just defeated your own point. That's my point. So if it's you live in a building and y'all not doing it, then you can't say it's because they live in a building because they stack.
They live in a building that it's just crammed full of people.
That's
you know
what
makes people.
I think like a hood mentality is just a hood mentality. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's going to be whether you in a spaced out environment or you crammed on top of each other. A hood mentality is a hood mentality. You feel me?
It's a big difference because guess what? Let me tell you something. Like if I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, right? There's not a lot of even apartment buildings out there. We all grew up in houses. We all had yards.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that we're not any faster to pull a trigger or do a drive-by than you guys are. You know what I'm saying? But like, it would never like hit me to piss in a stairway.
All right, but I'll tell you.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'll tell you what you will see. I remember I went to visit the homie in downtown LA, and it was a whole homeless man washing his ass with the fucking water outside his crib. Literally.
That's downtown LA, bro. That doesn't count.
Hold on. In his yard. Then in case anybody don't understand what I'm saying, rest in peace. My dude been going 4 years this week. Rest in peace, my dude
Rest in
Future,
peace, man.
a Brooklyn dude who moved to LA. In his fucking yard, when I pulled up to drop him off, when we went, matter of fact, I think we was grabbing something out the crib and we was going out anyway. There was a dude washing his ass in his yard with the little hose that you would use to water your garden with.
In downtown LA.
In downtown LA. Yeah.
Downtown LA does not count. That's no man's land. Like until they gentrified it, that was no man's land. That's where all the mentally disturbed people were. No one went there. Like,
so I can say this, right?
Is
I
that
can sort of like, you know what I'm saying, relate because I live in DC. So when you talk about people being crammed, when you talk about people being crammed in the city, like the homeless rate is skyrocketed in just this past year in DC, right? There's too many people here. Like,
the
you know,
whole country is being gentrified
and
right
absolutely. But man, in DC, bro, let me tell you something. You'll be on one block and you will see like a square space that is like, you know, ready to be like built upon. And in like 2 months, you'll see a brand new apartment just like built up out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like that's DC for you. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm pretty sure that's how it is, you know, in New York. I'm pretty sure that's how it is in LA. You know what I'm saying? Where you might blink your eye and boom, another high rise apartment just come out of nowhere and they charge a studio apartment for $3,200. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
1 second, bro, because they're talking about something in the comment section that's very important. And I want to mention this again because this drives to my point about that situation right there about us being involved in our local government. You see, you could thank the government for redistricting and redlining for the current living conditions in NY, in LA, in Chicago, and so on and so forth. Right now, guess what? Like us being people from the hood, do you not know that every city has a guy that's pretty much in charge of gangs, who's supposed to know everything about every single gang? There's always like a guy, right?
supposedly.
Agreed. Okay, thank you. All right, so that person is supposed to be in charge of saying who is who. They know exactly what hood you're from. They know everything about every gangbanger in the city. So now, when you decide as a government to start drawing those lines and getting people out, like say for instance, the reason why the murder rate is so crazy in Chicago is because everybody that was in the suburbs decided they now want to live downtown, which is happening in LA and it's basically happening everywhere. Everyone wants to
Happening
live
in DC as
downtown, right?
well.
So basically, what's happening is, but in Chicago, they were knocking down all these projects because all these projects were there. Same thing that's happening in Brooklyn, which Jay-Z was responsible for. You knock all these people down, right? And then Section 8 comes in, gives everybody a deal, and goes, now you got a house, right? But what you forgot to do was you should have put one of those gang officers in charge, and you should have let them say, yo, you need to keep all these people from this project in this neighborhood and all these people there. What's happening while we're all killing each other right now, and this seems to be systematic to me, is like, yo, you got people that are from different hoods, and you got enemies living right next door to each other now. So now you got your new suburban house, and you come outside, and there goes your enemy.
At the end of the day, it still comes to like systemic oppression.
If we were in those city hall meetings, those town hall meetings, and putting the pressure on those people and making a vote happen, because we do live in a democracy.
I absolutely agree. We
Okay.
do need to be more
So
involved.
then at least we know we tried to do that, but we're not doing that. Sometimes we don't even know. Listen, I didn't know until 3 years ago. So not putting it out like that, I just learned recently. And that's why I want to educate people on this. This is why I'm making a big deal about all this stuff.
Right.
It's about talking about how we can fix things.
So
I've been in the barber chair a million times and just talked about all the change by doing certain things. Now that's why I want to educate people on like, yo, we've had success at doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, somebody should have said something. We should have made somebody like, you know what I'm saying, like responsible for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I'm responsible.
You wanted to say something?
I was going to say that redlining is very old. You know what I mean? It supersedes some our conditions right now, and a lot of places they tried to outlaw it. There are some places like in Long Island, certain parts of Long Island, where it's still legal in its actual town. You know what I mean? To discriminate on black people getting certain houses and shit like that. And I think that there's also an element of in the places where they outlawed it, they have people with kind of like secret contracts where they know that we're not allowed to sell our houses to black folks. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something that they'll do around with each other in certain communities. I've heard of these situations. So even though it's not as finite as it once was, that shit is still a thing. You know what I mean?
You're 100% right.
You know,
Absolutely.
and the last thing I'll say is I heard of a story upstate New York where there was a neighborhood that there was a bunch of homes up for purchase for very cheap, right? And they actually targeted a certain, ethnicity of people to give them those homes instead of actually making it, common knowledge where anybody can take advantage. So a lot of this backdoor shit still going on, and it's fucked up. You know what I mean? But I also the train of thought that if we are forced in one environment, we should take care of it. So
Correct. Listen, let me tell you. One of the things that I've had a discussion about, and I think that this is important that we know this is like, look, we seem to be the easiest to target and destroy in a sense, and I'll tell you something. One of the reasons for that is because of the conditioning that we all suffer from. You know what I mean? Like when you look at a Latino community, if you look at a Jewish community, even if you look at like out here, we even have Little Korea, Little Ethiopia, all these places from different countries that are actually like zoned out amongst the city of Los Angeles. And what I happen to notice in all those communities, and this is the reason why like it's so easy for them to come and just sweep us right the fuck up out of our communities and not sweep these motherfuckers out of that are damn near third world citizens, where they're not able to do that because we, for some reason, we do not commerce together. You get what I'm saying? Like that's why like you seem like I'll be very upfront and you can deny our last conversation, CJ and Ja. Like I was saying, like, yo, we can do certain things together. I don't want nothing from it. Y'all keep what is going to be yours. Because I want people to start to be able to build up their own things. Like, yo, listen, like you go into a Spanish neighborhood, the Spanish shop at their own grocery stores. They eat at their own restaurants. They go to their own churches. You know what I'm saying? They everything is
It's their community.
Their community, and that is that owned. Where do we have that? You know what I'm saying? And then we get mad because the Koreans want to come in and because they're coming in because it's available. So why aren't we starting our own grocery stores or our own liquor stores?
I hate to talk about the past, but we did, build our own community countless numbers of times.
We did build our own community, and it did get destroyed. That was a part of the conversation. Is I think that when the 50s and 60s rolled around, or when because I'm actually going to do a thing about Black Wall Street. Like they saw us starting to strive and they tore that down, and then that's when they started the whole jail system and bringing us down, and that's what they have done. Like they've done that. So we just have to be listen. The chips are stacked against us. We just have to be that much better. Can't just slip. You have to know how to discuss it. You have to know how to
more importantly, it's that like while we teaching ourselves, we definitely got to teach the youth of this because I think like we can always talk about what we can do, right? What us adults can do. Like we grown ass fucking men, right? We know the shit already. But these young cats out here don't know. Like, we might want to think, we might want to, be confident in knowing that, we're gonna raise the youth to know, what I'm saying, what to do and what not to do. And 9 times out of 10, they out here, they do know what they doing, but they still need the guidance, though. You know what I'm saying? They still need the guidance. You know
I
what I'm
learned
saying?
that from Clubhouse and Logic. I want to apologize to you, and I want to apologize to all the listeners. The reason why I'm being long-winded and why I'm trying to be and being thorough about the things that I believe is because I only believe what I know I've seen with my eyes and where the proof is, and I can back anything that is that I'm saying. I've seen it on Clubhouse where everybody has all these problems with these kids, and then these kids were coming into my room, and I was having conversations and dialogue with them. There's really no issue. They just want God.
Absolutely.
They want a man in their life. Like, think about all these kids that are running around right now. They're a part of a generation of all these dudes that like their fathers were swept away into the correction system. All they
Yep.
want is a high five
Not
and a
only
good job.
yeah, not only that,
Plus,
it's it's more of, like thinking about it as, like the youth just needs, guidance. Like, for instance, me growing up, there wasn't a we always asked how our parents had eyes in the streets, right? Because, like, let's say we get home from school and the time from us getting from school and getting back home, we do some shit. We do some stupid shit, right? Let's say, we kick the window open to Mr. Jones' car, right? And we don't think nobody see us. You know what I'm saying? Or let's say, Tony, the old guy who always sit on the corner, give us $1 every time he sees when we show our report card. You know what I'm saying? And you don't think Mr. Tony gonna tell your mother get home. She like, so why you do this? Why you do that? You go like, I ain't doing it. Like, yeah, because Mr. Tony that be on the corner tell that you did this and did that. You might not think we these kids don't have that, to be honest with you. They don't have the OGs that's sitting on the corner that's gonna give you $20 for bringing home a good report card.
kids aren't
You
outside.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
We
these kids
outside.
don't
We're outside. We're outside generation. They're inside generation. They're playing video.
absolutely, but
I
we also got to figure
was
out.
outside every day, all day until I had to
We also,
come.
right. So just like you said, right, we was the outside generation, they're the inside, right? So we got to figure out a way to give them that guidance while they're inside, right? Like, for instance, like
Places
there are
like
schools,
100 Sound Academy.
right? Exactly. You know
They
what I'm
want to
saying?
come. They want to learn from the best, and they want to get their hand put around. You want to get your
Right.
hand put around
And
by
there are schools
Timberland and Brian Michael Cox and Puff.
right now, and as we speak, there are elementary schools in DC, right, where they give kids a stipend for making straight A's. Like, you know what I'm
You think
saying?
they
Like,
care about that? They don't care about that. They
they
care about
don't,
caring. They
but
hear about caring from us. That's what they want.
absolutely,
That's what I learned from Clubhouse. That's what I learned from having this 1,500 nothing school. They just want to hear from us that we're proud of them and that we agree with what they're doing and we think that they're
absolutely,
smart. They just want to be
absolutely,
just. They want justification for what it is that they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Like, come on,
It
man.
should
Like,
be
I
all
wanted
decent.
a pat on the back. Like, you're a little genius.
It's
You
what
know what I'm
keeps
saying?
us
And you
going,
can
yo.
see that
It's
confidence
what keeps
blooming
us.
in them.
It's what keeps us going as human. To be honest with you, you know what I'm
It's all
saying.
it is, man. And they just don't have that.
Even sometimes, like even sometimes, I don't mind. Teacher, good job, bro. You know what I'm saying. Like, it's not something that I expect. But when I hear the shit, it makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying. Like, I don't never shove it off when people tell me like, man, like, teacher, you doing your thing with your podcast, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even if I know that I'm doing the shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's nothing that I expect. It's because, you know what I'm saying, I love to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? And
We
even if
all do, brother. We all do.
exactly, exactly. Let's take it to Hollywood real quick though, right? Let's take it to Hollywood real quick. Um Atlanta, the hit series Atlanta is coming back with a season 3. Donald Glover just unlocked the season 3 trailer of the hit series Atlanta. If you guys haven't seen the trailer yet, make sure you guys go on YouTube. It is officially on YouTube as the trailer. Make sure that you guys, definitely tune into that. I'm actually excited. I've been waiting for Atlanta to come back. You know, I'm definitely waiting for Atlanta to come back. Let's see, Virginia Slim, what you saying now? This behavior isn't relegated to the younger generation. My pop generation said the same thing about us.
Yeah. We all say
So
that about the other
yeah,
younger generation, but
yeah, right,
it has gotten worse. It's getting worse, and you can see. And yeah, we always feel like the younger
absolutely.
generation doesn't do things that we think that they should. Like this generation completely disregard. Like I remember being 30 years old and somebody calling me an old nigga at 30 years old.
Yeah, nigga, nigga, I'm
I've been an
29.
executive since I was 19 years old,
Nigga,
bro.
I'm 29, and I had little niggas scared, man. Nigga, you old. I'm like,
You
what?
old at
What?
29. Come on now.
Nigga, I'm 29 years old. I'm not old. No, I'm not.
You know, one
But
of the best things about my life right now, because I'm 40, right? I became an executive at 19 years old, right? The job that I had at 19 years old, the guys that competed with me were 42, 44, 45 and up. I'm still
shit,
younger than the guys that I compete with to this day. but people had the nerve to call me an old nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on,
Thank
man.
you, Shan P. I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said it. This generation wants to be praised for mediocrity. It ain't
And they
happening.
don't want to do the work because no
Right.
one is
You know
going
what I'm
around
saying?
teaching them what work
Like
ethic is.
I remember me coming home with just like all C's on my report card and me thinking, shit, I got a 2.0. I'm straight.
No, it's
Mm.
not good enough.
Nah, nah,
It's not good enough. And we have to strive
nah,
for excellence. And the other thing about it is,
nah.
like,
You know what I'm
I'll even
saying?
tell you
Like,
something, man. Like I went my entire life up until I was in college, and I became a Pan African Studies major. I had a double major in kinesiology and Pan African Studies. And that first year alone woke me up. We're not being taught to be woke. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm about to go a good 5-10 years more in this music thing, and after that, you know, when I'm getting in my 50s and 60s, my agenda is going to be to attack the educational uh syllabus. Like, why are we
mhm,
still celebrating Christopher Columbus Day? Why are we like talking about like how often do we talk about Black history in elementary and junior high school? Never.
only in
Martin
February.
Luther King and Malcolm X. That's it. It's maybe a little
Only in
and a
February.
splash of slavery. You know what I'm saying? But but
Only in
but but you
February.
got your kids doing cutouts of turkeys and Indians and shit in elementary school, still celebrating Thanksgiving when we know good and damn well that never even happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, the truth has got to come out, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
it's got to come out.
Um,
It's got to come out, y'all.
everybody knows this. Another hit series on TV, Snowfall. The star Snowfall, Damson Idris. During the Super Bowl, he was not lucky. Nobody's lucky when that happens. During the Super Bowl, he had an opportunity. He's taking the opportunity to sit down with Rihanna and Jay Z and P Diddy. He actually got a chance to sit with these guys, right? And among all of that, what happens is he got a chance to actually like talk to Jay Z, and he was like, and when you get to meet Jay Z for the first time, it's like a lot of people, might look at it as like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm actually about to rap with Jay Z. You know what I'm saying? This shit is dope. You know what I'm saying? So during the Super Bowl, Damson, he had to sit down with Rihanna, Jack Harlow, Jay Z, and Daniel Kaluuya. If you guys don't know who Daniel is, he's the guy from Get Out. And so he actually he chilled with them throughout the whole Super Bowl. They was in the box suite together. They was chilling. They was drinking, having a good time. And what happened was, once he got to meet Jay Z, he shook Jay Z hands like, "Hey, I'm Dancing Idris," and Diddy introduced Dancing Idris as, "Man, this is Damson. He's the next Denzel." And Jay Z was like, "Yo, what's up, man? How you doing?" And Damson was like, "Damson, when you're a young cat who's just made his name inside of the acting world, right? Somebody call you the next Denzel. Then when you meet a guy like Jay Z, you expect for the guy to be like, oh shit, that's Jay Z. Nah, man, this dude told Jay Z, yo, what's up? Nice to meet you. You know what I'm saying? And it's a pleasure to meet you. And like walked off, just like like just like cool. You know what I'm saying? Cool, level headed guy. You know what I'm saying? And Diddy stopped him, and Diddy was like, uh, "You see how you acting right now? Like ain't nothing a big deal. Keep that same fucking mentality. You know what I'm saying? Keep that same mentality, bro. Like because people see it like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, you're a fucking star. You're a star of a hit series, bro. Like, don't be excited to see Jay Z, my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't be like excited like a groupie. Like, like yeah, like be happy in the moment that you get to meet Jay Z, but like don't be like a group like, oh my god, Jay Z. You know what I'm saying? Can I get a picture with you? Like, nah, man, you in Hollywood now, bro. You're a Hollywood star. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing, cat. You know what I'm saying? But definitely congratulations to Damson Idris though, man. Like this kid can act his ass off. Like this kid can like act his ass off, man. And people said he was the next Denzel, and I can believe it. You know what I'm saying? I can believe it. Like he had some moments in Snowfall where he was real funny. He had some moments in Snowfall where you actually wanted to cry for the dude. There was other moments where you thought like this nigga cold hard gangster, man. Like this, yeah, man. So man, Logic, I'm gonna ask you first, man. Like,
Mm.
have you watched Snowfall? First of all, let me ask that.
Nah, man. I haven't watched it lately. I've seen pieces of it. I haven't watched it lately. I seen the whole ATL joint though.
Me too.
Okay,
I
yeah,
haven't
yeah,
seen. I haven't seen. I haven't seen the other one either. And I thought ATO was a genius.
ATL is pretty
exactly,
good.
Slim. Yeah,
But what I seen
exactly.
from Snowfall was good too. I just haven't had the time to get into it. You know what I'm saying? Like shows like that, I gotta binge watch. So I just wait till
Yeah, and I'm the same way. Like when I first looked at it, I'm like, damn, yo, and I felt kind of like a hypocrite because I watched Power too, right?
Mhm.
I was like, damn, do I really want to watch another drug related show? But here I am again. Here I am again watching, the power of the fourth book force with Tommy and shit, right? So now I'm like, all right, it's time for me to hunker down and let me go ahead and watch Snowfall. And everybody talking about this kid, like why are they talking about it? I got it. So I think, I'm sooner or later, you know what I'm saying, when I get the time to sit down and I'm gonna binge watch Snowfall myself.
Right. You say you felt guilty. You a certain age, man. You know not to let the shit influence you. You good.
It doesn't bother me at all. I listen. Bo, you remember Bo from Clubhouse, CJ? Like he was putting so much pressure on me to watch ATL, and you know what's so crazy is like I think I had something going on Hulu, and like Hulu, like what you're watching something, it takes it upon itself to just put another
Hmm.
program on, and it had put some program on, and it was like episode 3 of season 2 or something like that. And what ended up catching my eye was like they were doing something where they were like recreating these commercials. They were doing like a Swisher Sweets commercial. Like remember that episode?
Yeah.
I'm watching that shit like, yo, the Swisher Sweets got a fucking I watched that shit like over and over again. Like I'm like, yo,
Yeah,
I've
man.
never seen. And I ended up finding out that was a part of that show. And then that made me that actually intrigued me to go and start watching it. And I started watching it and I thought it was genius, and I'm actually not the greatest fan of Homeboy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have the utmost respect for him for what he did. I think he wrote that thing. I think it was brilliant.
yeah. Like
I
Donald
think it
Glover
was
is man,
really
Donald
brilliant.
Glover is talented as fuck, man. Like
He is
he's a
talented, and I have to
he's another young cat in this acting world who's definitely like real laid back. You know what I'm saying? Not really inside of like the Hollywood facade and all that stuff. Like he's not real. Like how when you see actors, you see them in Hollywood. That's not Donald Glover. Like you rarely see Donald Glover unless you
But you
actually
see what
talk
he's
about
doing? What he's doing is he's actually helping building a step for
it.
us
Right.
because it's conscious television.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's actually
Mm-hmm.
educational. So there's a message going behind that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
I think it's genius, and at the same time, he's being educational and he's fucking and it's funny as hell.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We need
That's
more of that. But I mean,
he
like, you
definitely
know how hard that is. Like even for someone like himself to be able to like execute that,
yeah.
that's a difficult task.
See, like how you felt about Atlanta when you got up, how you felt about Bel Air. Like when Bel Air first came out, everybody was like, oh my god, man, you should watch this, you should watch Bel Air, and I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. I don't need to see another rendition of Fresh Prince. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
yeah,
I think that
you can't fuck with something that I grew up watching. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I felt, in the beginning. Like, don't
no,
mess with something that I grew up watching.
see when we were growing up, right? And if we didn't grow up with the internet, like that's what made us unique amongst ourselves in different marketplaces. New York had its own flair. Florida had its own flair. Atlanta had its own flair. Texas has its own flair. Chicago had its own flair. LA has its own flair. San Francisco has its own flair.
And you didn't know until you actually flew there.
No, yeah, but now because of the internet, it's like yo,
Right.
there would be shoes you could only get in New York back in the day.
Absolutely. Where you had to
You know what
travel
I'm
up.
saying? Like
I
I mean,
remember, bro.
shoes
Like,
you could only get in
yeah,
Hawaii back in the day. Now
I
you
remember
can
I
interview
remember
anybody.
people
Everybody,
I
we all
remember
look the same.
yeah, I remember people having to travel from DC up to New York just to get certain shoes, just to get certain Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Logic know what I mean, yo. Logic know what I mean, man. So you
Trust me, I
know,
know. 'Cause we used to have people in my schools in
yeah,
LA that lived in New York. They would
like
go to New York for the summer
even
vacation and
to this
come back with
day,
all this kind of ridiculous shit. Like, damn, what is that?
right? Even to this day, it still blows my mind how like just thinking about how like I really did fucking grow up without internet, yo. Like, like I really did grow up without internet, bro. Like, and I'm looking back, I was like, what the fuck was I doing without internet? I was fucking living
Because,
life. I was
like,
living life.
The only place, listen, in my travels, and I've done the entire globe, the only place that I've seen that still has shit that I still have never seen anywhere else is in Asia, Japan and China.
Yeah,
You go there, you see shit like, what is this? Like,
absolutely.
but everywhere else, I'm talking about Australia, Africa, South America, Canada, Russia, it's all the same shit in the malls.
So
All the same.
while we're still talking about, I'm gonna dial it back down to the music. We're gonna talk about. I saved this best for last because I really wanted to talk about this. Rapper Tech 9 just reached boss level. He has just hit the top 10 among the highest paid rappers. Right? And I'm gonna
That's
give
surprising.
y'all. I'm gonna give y'all. I might sound a little old when I say this, right? But I remember Tech 9 before, like it like streaming became streaming. You know what I'm saying? Like Tech 9 is one of like the underground greats, of this era because he really really worked his ass off, like releasing music that people will only have to really search for underground. You know what I'm saying? Like, and honestly, and now it's like looking back then with Tech 9 first debuted and how he just like, worked his ass off up until now. And I look, man, kudos to him. Like kudos to him, dog. I mean, it's like because when you look at the top 10 list, you got Jay-Z at the top, what I'm saying, Kanye West number 2 and Diddy number 3. And then coming down the list is Drake, Wiz Khalifa, Travis Scott, Khaled, Eminem, J. Cole. And then it's a tie for 10 between Tech 9, Doja Cat, and Birdman. You know what I'm saying? Birdman is the thing that got me because I thought Birdman would be at least in the top 5. You know what I'm saying? So to see, Tech 9 coming to this
Birdman's
list,
a rapper.
I mean,
He's,
true, but he has rap, so take it with a grain of salt.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Take it with a grain of salt. You know, um, but yeah, man, like I'm just so glad to see Tech 9 finally get his recognition, man. Because
And it's proof of what Logic and I were discussing, that because of the fact that the old way of doing things has been destroyed, doesn't it not make sense for the number one independent artist of any genre should be in that category? Because he's just all he hasn't changed. He hasn't changed his business model. He's just he's just moving forward with what he's been doing.
25 million.
An independent artist never cared about royalties. An independent artist always cared about touring and merch.
Man, Tech 9 is
And
always
he's been good at those two things, and everybody knows that.
Tech 9 stays busy 24/7, 365 days a year. This man doesn't
You
rest.
want to know why about that? Because Tech 9 has this mindset of this. So when everybody else goes out there, they're looking to compete with the Drakes and the Kanye West and stuff like that and get $2-3 million a show. Tech 9 has no problem just going out and grabbing that 10, 15 grand, 20 grand every night and keeping himself in that. And and imagine that, like who's making 10 or 15, 20 grand a night?
Mm,
That's balling.
I would
And
love
that's just for show currency.
to.
Imagine your his merch cost. And what he does, instead of like selling his stuff out for a royalty in a store, he's selling CDs at the show. Or now I've seen him sell thumb drives that are turned into like a watch.
Right.
And then the thumb drive is like right here, and you pull that joint out, and now you got the whole album on your shit. And
Mhm.
and a fashionable artifact to go along with it. You know what I'm saying? And just having that mindset of just knowing what using the music, because he does not collect a royalty. You know what I'm saying? Like he uses the music
Absolutely.
to promote the product.
You don't think he collects his royalties when he's independent?
His royalties are minuscule compared to the Drakes and the, you know what I'm saying, all the other people. So that's not his primary business. That's not his focus. Of course he's collecting something nice.
But
Especially
deeper in
him
the,
out of all
but,
people, yes.
but deeper than the royalties, when CDs were still selling, he was able to get 100% off the
He
CD, right?
wasn't
Nice
selling
little jump
CDs
check.
at Warehouse or Tower Records. He was selling his CDs out the trunk at the shows. You're not collecting a royalty on that.
No, you're getting 100% of the profits. What I'm
Yeah,
saying.
exactly.
Right.
He's a grinder. He's on his grind. You know what I'm saying? He's not collecting a royalty. He's not thinking about that. He's thinking about the fact that I got this room full of people. I need every single one of these motherfuckers to buy. What do you want to do? You want to sell at the time a 15 or especially for an independent a $10 CD or a $25 T-shirt? This is
Absolutely.
business.
Both, but the thing is, what we was talking about earlier with the system is like the cats who got their CDs in the stores, they seeing pennies off the dollar. You know what I mean? That's a drastic difference. 100% of your CD profit off pennies off the dollars. That's why
It is
we
a
was talking
drastic
about. That's why we was
Mhm.
talking about that distribution. You know what I'm saying? Like that's fucked up.
Distribution
That
is
was fucked up
motherfucker.
what they was doing to us. You know what I mean?
You know what? I think I just come from a generation where I'm just so used to not collecting that. Like if you guys see behind me, that's one of I always just keep that somewhere near me. I've got so many different plaques, but I always keep that's the Lupe Fiasco, the cool album, right? That we got a gold album for, right? And I
One of my
almost
favorite
died.
albums too, by the way.
Me and Lupe both almost died. We both caught an pneumonia trying to get that damn album together and getting it out. And it was so crazy because when we got our first royalty check for that album, we were already on the road doing 7 days a week, getting like $120,000 a night. And when we got our first royalty check off of that album, it was like $18,500. Like that check wouldn't have got us from Monday to Wednesday with our overhead. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, I literally was like, yo, let's just rip it and throw it in the air. Bro,
So I'm the
we're making hundreds of $1,000s a night every single
right.
night. And that little shit was not like, no, I don't give a damn
So
about that.
I'm gonna say this, right? And we're gonna get to the topic of the night. We in the last quarter of this show. But Lupe Fiasco, man, let me say this. He's brilliant. Like, he's a brilliant artist. One of my favorite projects from him is Test and Youth. And Test and Youth doesn't get as much praise as it should because like this man was just brilliant. Yes, he added everything that was him when it comes to gaming, anime, his just hip hop. Like Test and Youth. Like if you guys haven't heard it, make sure you guys pull it up. It's on Spotify. Test and Youth is definitely by far one of his. I think it's one of his greatest projects that he's put out, and it's only a mixtape. It's a crazy thing. I'm not sure it was a mixtape, right, Jace? If I'm not mistaken.
Wasn't a
Yeah,
part of that. I don't know.
yeah. So Test and Youth,
That
man.
was
Make
a
sure you
real
guys.
album. That wasn't a real album.
Yeah, no, it was an album. It was an album actually. It
Hmm.
was a two-part album actually. It was a two-part album. So you guys, this whole transition from the first song to his interludes. He has the seasons of the year. So I think the first one is spring, then the next one is summer, then it's fall, and then it's winter. As the last interlude, and it has the next couple of tracks. Definitely, man. I think you guys would definitely check that out. You guys would definitely like, see Lupe, different from what his usual tracks are. He did a lot of references, some references that people might not understand. But for people who didn't really listen to Lupe, I say you definitely need to go
He's a
listen.
masterclass rapper.
Yeah, definitely,
He's a
definitely.
masterclass rapper. That's definitely for sure.
So now we at the towards the end of our show. You guys know what that means. It is time for the topic of the night, where we are going to be talking about recognizing growth. We talked a little bit about growth in the last episode. About seeing where we came from. beginning and where we at now, whether we're satisfied, right? But now I just want to like really like touch bases on like the growth within you, like what I'm saying. Where are you at with your growth? So I guess logic, what I'm saying, like you growing the Ranters Union, man. Like when you started the Ranters Union,
Mhm.
like and looking at it now, like what was your thoughts, like as you begin to start the Ranters Union. Also, salute again to the Ranters Union.
Yeah, salute to everybody in the rant room, aka the chat. Um, I want to say when I started it, I kind of got lucky when I started. It was one of those things where preparation met opportunity, right? So I was just doing what I was doing, and then it kind of naturally formed, right, out of support of one show, and then that led to support of many, right? Um, but as far as the business of it, like of me as a producer and all of that, um, and my goal to be able to self distribute, right? Speaking of what we was talking about earlier, like being able to distribute my own content and all that, um, that business plan was like 10, maybe plus years in the making. You feel me? So um, I definitely appreciate what the Ranters Union's been able to do for me in regards to bring me closer to the bigger picture, which is to have like, 0 to 100, distribution company, right? Or production and distribution. So yeah, man, I'm definitely I feel appreciative of the people I met, you know what I mean, including yourself, you know what I mean, everybody on this panel, people in the chat, some who I known a long time, some who I met on this journey, and I'm definitely proud of all of our growth and vision because it takes a lot of vision to be able to see what you can get from working with people versus competing with them or trying to be on an island all alone. You dig? So yeah, man.
Yeah, I definitely want to. I want to press on what you just said. We have got to learn to work together.
Absolutely.
Period. Period. Like we all cannot just try to be the first person to get across the finish line. We should do it
Absolutely.
together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, bro.
That
Like
crab in the barrel
again,
thing has got to stop. You know what I'm saying?
congratulations, King. Like like I said, you've done great things. You've done great
And you
things
done
with
some
the Ranters
special
Union.
things, brother. You done some
You've done
special
great.
things,
You've done
man.
special.
Yo, give him
I
one of them
also
round
want
of
to say,
applauses. Who got the button? Look, he smiled for the first time tonight.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you.
and I also want to say this, man. It wasn't luck, brother. It wasn't
Hell
luck.
no. No
Well,
such
that's
thing.
I hear you. I believe in blessings over luck and hard work and all that. But when I say luck, I mean preparation meeting opportunity.
Oh, right, yeah,
I'm saying?
absolutely. I got you. I
That's why
got
I specified that afterwards because you can be already doing something, right? You can be already walking your path
you.
and you
Hmm.
can have a vision of where you're gonna go. But there's always gonna be these other bigger blessings that you never even visualize that's gonna come with it, right? And that's gonna be your preparation, going on your path, meeting certain opportunities that you're gonna be qualified to be able to, walk step into those positions, right? So when shit like that happened to me, even though I get it. If I wasn't working, I wouldn't have been able to,
Hmm.
fulfill the obligation. I s- I still call it luck for lack of better words. You know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah.
Definitely
Yo, you know
understand.
what,
Definitely
you know what? I'm so glad that you said that because I need to check myself because one of the things that I do that and it's always been about you know playing a mentality game like with my adversaries and stuff like that. And for me going from intern to executive in 3 months at 19 years old was purely luck. Like that was luck. But like what he just said, it was because of the fact that I knew how to handle everything.
Right.
And that came from that, and I was able to sustain. You know what I'm saying? And I've actually taken away from myself, but I've actually like made it seem like I just hit like some kind of fucking lotto. But I mean, I could have easily been kicked into an alley somewhere if I wasn't handling things correctly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's
since you
very
telling
important.
your story,
You have to be prepared. You know what I mean?
since you telling your story, I want to ask you this, Jason. Red Vision TV, man. Like seeing from when you first started it, um, you know, What was your thoughts? Like if you can like let's say you're looking at yourself when you first started Red Vision TV. Let's say you're sitting right across the room from them. You guys both in the chair drinking scotch. You guys having a conversation. What are you telling yourself?
Well, first of all, let me tell you something. Okay, so it's Red Vision Music, and it's my guy. It's named after my guy Red, who passed away from AIDS. Like Red was the one that brought me on to the Overbrook family, introduced me to Will Smith, and brought me in over there. Our
Rest in peace.
company was supposed to be a
Rest in peace.
secret company that we just did music supervision. You know what I'm saying? Like we were doing music supervision on the side. Because like we were managers in the music. Like Overbrook Entertainment had a music management division, which is what we were in charge of. We had a label, and then they had a TV and film department that was huge. Like, I mean, they were making $80 million a year, 100 and something $million a year. We were barely clearing like 3 million, and the label and the management side together. But we managed a lot of big acts. You know what I mean? Like from Robin Thicke, Whitney Houston. You know what I mean? I can go down the line. We had a couple of them. Like we were competing with some of them. But black music supervisors were something that just wasn't happening. So we did this movie called Love and a Bullet. We did Two Can Play That Game with Vivica Fox and Morris Chestnut. We were starting to get a couple of movies under our belt, and we were just pimping the fact that we knew how to manage artists pretty well. We had Genuine signed to us as well, like one of his big albums. Quite a few artists, but one of the things that Red would always teach me, and I'll say this is, before we brought anything to the company, brought anything to the table, we would always ask ourselves the same question: is it special?
Right. Do
You
that.
have to have a level of quality control, which I think is lacking in this day and age. We need a level of quality control. And the other thing is like, that's why I grabbed my pads, because I'm getting ready to I'm getting ready to start releasing these records. And what I want to do is, this is why I'm appreciative for you having me on here, is I want to start teaching people how to get into this. But one of the things that you got to be able to do if you want to survive as an executive, or if you want to even be able to survive as an artist, you have to have confidence in yourself, which I think a lot of men
Absolutely.
and women lack. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do like a 2 or 3 week thing about affirmations about positivity and self-reliance. You know what I'm saying? Self-respect. You know what I'm saying? And building yourself up. And without getting too deep into it, one of the things that I learned is like you need to restore yourself, speak up for yourself, take pressure off yourself, and know the good in yourself. And you need to
Absolutely.
do some things, and you need to work on some things unless you know you really are confident to step up. And then, because like one of the things that happened to me, I was confident. I've always been confident. And the reason I've been confident is I'm lucky. I'm one of the few lucky people, is because every day before I left the house, I had this family that was like, "You're the best looking motherfucker in the world. You are the smartest motherfucker in the world." Listen, I came out the house feeling good every day. So I didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? I was floating. You know what I'm saying? I was like, so that's why I was able to like stand up to people. And I've always have been able to stand up to people because I believe in myself. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why 1,500 or nothing and everything that is that I've done is because I believe in just me, and I don't give a fuck about anybody else.
Right.
I don't work with anybody. I don't do anything with anybody else. Because you bring in any other people, I don't want their problems. Like I know what my crew and my circle is. You know what I'm saying? I know who my
Mm-hmm.
boys are right here. I have confidence in you. You know what I'm saying? And I know you guys have confidence in yourself. So it's like
Absolutely.
you have to have. You cannot participate in this game without that. Period.
Congratulations, brother. By the way,
Period. You really cannot. I actually just
congratulations.
I almost caught hell, by the way, 2 days ago, because there was this big ass article that just came out on Scooter Braun, and I was one of the main people in the article. They were talking, and I had no idea when I interviewed for the article they were shitting on him, and they were baiting me into shitting on him, and I kind of started to participate in that until I figured out what was going on, and I was like, whoa. And so the reason my statement, but the reason why, one of the things I said that saved me with the person doing the interview is I said, look, the reason why he is who he is and why he is the way that he is like, first of all, when he came into the game, I was here, he was here. I brought him up to here, and then he went there. The reason why I didn't go up with him, I wanted no parts of that world. I know where my limit is. That dude is a bloodthirsty shark with the most confidence I've ever seen in anybody. That's if he doesn't even know what the fuck he's doing, but he's confident. He'll sit there and tell you that the sky is pink and convince you of it. You know what I'm saying? Like Justin Bieber couldn't dance, barely could fucking sing, all that kind of shit. And look what he did with that. And he made $1 billion off that kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the only other person on earth that he cared about was Kanye because he was a fan of Kanye. When he managed Kanye, he's the one that made Kanye a billionaire.
And I want to just say, that you did your thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen you. When I met you, you've been grinding hard, you've been working hard. And you just like I told Logic, man. Y'all are special. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got some special things going, and definitely want to
Man,
congratulate y'all.
you
So do
special.
you, bro. No, so do you. That's what's so dope about this team. Everybody does something different. I don't do what you do. I don't do what Logic do. You know what I'm saying? I don't do what I do. Everybody does their own thing. That's something special. That's what makes it special. You know what I'm saying? This is a
Thank
motherfucking trifecta, by the way.
you. Say what?
All we need is Steph just eating chicken wings underneath the table, man. We got so
Man, I almost forgot about that, man. I almost
this has been
forgot
a
about.
real special episode, man, because this really hasn't been about a lot of jokes and shit. This has been about empowerment. You know what I'm saying? This is about us taking responsibility for ourselves and what our future is going to be, man, for ourselves and for our kids. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is like we got to stop looking for handouts. We have to believe in ourselves and we have to take the shit back. No one's going to give it back to us. We got to go in there. We got to take it back. It's not going to be easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you know what the real shit about it is like, and I used to think about this all the time, which is why I never wanted to go to this level.
Mm-hmm.
But now, guess what? I do want to go to this level now. I
Right.
didn't want to go there when I was dealing with Scooter. So that's the point of the
What's
situation.
crazy
Is like
is that
I have to do it, and we're not going to make it. But guess what?
what's
If I'm going to take it so far, and then somebody else that's listening to this interview has to be able to take the baton because we will not see this in our lifetime. We will not see the change.
oh
But
yeah,
somebody has got
absolutely
to take it there first. Someone's
right.
got to beat the damn door down a little bit harder. You know
So
what I'm saying?
yeah, so here's the thing that always like makes me laugh. It's like I'm always usually the one that always asking the questions on the show, right? And so I was asked about a day or two ago. I was like, "Do you ever like answer any questions?" I don't like nobody answer nobody ask the questions. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm pretty much an open book. You know? So this is where I created, the topic for tonight is, growth within yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like recognizing growth. And so it's like people ask me all the time, it's like, what do uh, about this podcast is like what does this podcast like mean? Like what is it? Like where did you get Black Kings Empowerment from? Like even today, I was in a conversation with a nonprofit organization. And they was like, tell me about yourself. And what I didn't notice is, they did some research on me, and the first thing that popped up was the BKE podcast. It's like we see that you're a podcaster, so what does that Black Kings Empowerment mean? And and I said, well, Black Kings Empowerment is just basically like, I'm the king, right? And I'm that Black king. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to, give the empowerment to other people who are on the show. It's not all about the jokes and not all about the gossip. It's not all about, talking about a celebrity and how bad they've been doing and shit like that. And I can talk about that for forever. I can give you a million reasons why, what I'm saying, Kanye and Kim Kardashian divorce is this and this and that. You know what I'm saying? But nah, that's not what it's about. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can talk all day, you know what I'm saying? But what makes this thrive for me is, seeing other people, be comfortable on the show to speak their story and speak who they are, and be honest,
See,
man, like
tell the people about like when we met, like why I focused on you.
so actually the funny story is that when I came, just everybody who knows Clubhouse know how it is, right? You guys don't know what Clubhouse is. Clubhouse is pretty much like a video, like not a video, a voice chat room where you can come in and you can talk. You know what I'm saying? It's not video or anything like that. So pretty much how it works is when I came inside of Jason's room, I was just like scrolling through rooms, like what they call a hallway, and I seen this one room. I forgot what the topic was, but I came in here, and with me being musically inclined and stuff like that, I seen I was like, let me pop in here, let me see what it's about. So when I came in there, right, and I stayed down in the goose, what they call it, it's like in the bottom. People have to invite you up, and Jason. Word for word, man. Jason was like, "All right, yo, shut the fuck up real quick. Yo, let's see who CJ is." He's like, "Yo, CJ, what's up, man? How you doing?" It's like, "Yo, what's up, Jason?" It's like, he's like, "Nothing, man." He's like, "Man, I want." He said, "Man, thank you for coming to the room, bro. Like, tell me a little bit about yourself." And I told him a little bit about myself, and he was like, "Oh, he's like you actually like make chocolates, like you like Willy Wonka, nigga." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, like like I make chocolate truffles, man." He was like, "Yeah, that's what's up." He's like, "So." He said, "Have you ever like shipped them like across the country?" Like, yeah, like I actually have. Like, I actually just shipped the order like a week before we actually talked. And he was like, "All right, bet." So let me ask you this: like, if I order something right now, are you able to get it to me in the time frame that you guarantee? I said, "Absolutely." He's like, "All right." He said, "So I'm gonna holler at you, bro. I'm gonna really holler at you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you know when I'm ordering." I was like, "All right, cool." Literally like 5 hours later that day, I got an email from my business email saying that it said Jason S ordered, I think it was like $75-$80 worth of truffles.
Yeah.
So like literally what I did was like and what he did was he ordered that one day shipping. I was like, all right. So what I did was I dropped everything that I was doing and I got to fucking work. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, my
Well,
business is my
the point
business.
is this. The point is this: is I don't whatever it is that I do, and other rappers or singers or people that are in the entertainment industry, it makes me sick to my stomach to see that how much influence we have amongst everybody. So I think that people like yourself, people like Logic, people like that are teachers, people that are politicians and stuff like that, I would always give them a stage. People that are lawyers, people that are doctors, like black people, by the way, that are doctors, black people that are chefs, you know what I'm saying, and sauciers like yourself, and you know what I'm saying, like all that kind of, like that is what needs to be shown, like because it's like, yo, you're cool as fuck. Logic,
Right,
you are
man.
cool as fuck. You know what I'm saying? I fucking appreciate y'all. I look up to y'all. I admire y'all. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's why I brought my big ass mouth onto this show because that I really want this moment is to gas y'all and show like it's not just like I have all the accomplishments and accolades and all that shit like that. I can't not do what you do. I do not have the brain power, the bandwidth, the responsibility. You like, bro, you call me into the last minute and listen, you just happen to be one of the very few people that are on my list of people that I have to pick up every time the phone rings. You know what I'm saying? Like certain people like that, I'll see the phone ring, I'm like, nah, and I'll keep doing what I was doing. Like, I see the phone ring with you, bro. I just pick up and you like, yo, 10 minutes show. I'm like, what? Show today? Oh, all right. You know what I'm gonna do what you say.
How
Because
you
I'm
been?
gonna
Look,
support you in executing what it is that you got going on. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, I want people to understand Logic's motivation and his what his mindset is at. You know what I'm saying? Now today might have just been a little bit something where we banged against each other because I just happen to be in the background of a lot of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I want us to be proud. I want us to be able to take over. We can take over. We're better than all of these motherfuckers. We look like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, look, we got bigger dicks. Our women have bigger asses. Make sure, like we're beautiful people, man.
so
Shit, we're be on this. Like,
so here's the crazy
come on,
thing,
man.
right?
Like, listen,
Is that
listen.
and this
We're
honestly
never getting
this is
better.
why this is why I love doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, this podcast is my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I got the call from Logic and Logic hit me with the yo, what you doing in August?
CJ, you
And I
frozen
said,
on my page. Is he frozen on you, Logic?
Nah, I hear him.
No, you
Oh
see
yeah,
his
my
face
bad.
moving?
Yeah, I see him.
Okay, he's not moving on
All
my
right,
side.
cool.
My side. Okay, go ahead.
So what I was saying was, he hit me up. He's like, "Yo, what you doing in this month of time?" He's like, "No, no, I don't know." He was like, "All right." He said, "Well, look, man, I just want to let you know that I'm hosting an award show." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, shit, word for real?" He's like, "Man, that's dope." He was like, "Yeah, man." He said, "Man, and I want to give you an award." And I was like, "Yo, like for real? Like you like serious?" He's like, "Yeah, man." And Logic, you might like what Logic is. He's sitting right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the end of the day, it's like this, man. Like when I tell people, like with this podcast, I'm gonna be honest. Like I didn't have no vision for it. Yeah, because this shit was supposed to help me get through COVID. like I. This is why I always say, man. I think the pandemic because like this shit, like just like you guys been saying all night, like the pandemic, like has made like this virtual content creating shit like what it is. You know what I'm saying? It made streaming much more better than what we've been using it for before. You know what I'm saying? Like, at first, yeah, we'll see like YouTube videos and shit like that, and we be like, oh, that's cool, and to be going about our day. But when we actually doing the shit now, looking back at it with the pandemic and everything, and we're forced to do things virtually, like now, and it's like looking at, like honestly, just like the question I asked you, Jason. If I was sitting across the room from myself 2 years from now, like when I started the BKE podcast and things like that, like looking at it, looking at the sitting across from me, I told him, yo, be
Yeah,
patient, bro. You're like, be patient. You know what I'm saying? You're not in a rush to go anywhere fast. Be patient. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, looking at my growth, man, and I'm always looking at like I'm always gonna grow. You know what I'm saying? There's no limitations on growth. And I'm always gonna grow, and this is why I love doing this and hearing that, like hearing Logic with his feedback on my show, and then Jason, you always tell me how you admire my execution. It's because I honestly I learn from the best. You know what I'm saying? Like I learn from you guys. Like Logic. You know what I'm saying? I learn from you, Jason. I learn from you as well. And this is why like every time when I come on the show, and I make sure I execute the shit. You know what I'm saying? I make sure like this shit is done right. The shit is done properly. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, shit, like this shit is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Like
and
it's
execution
levels to this shit.
is
Yo,
about
iron sharpens iron,
quality
man.
control. It's about quality control, and that's what's
Absolutely.
happening every single time I've been on this show. I've seen the quality control go up another level.
Like
You know what I'm saying? Like it
absolutely.
keeps
Like
on going because you're
I'm gonna
learning.
be real, man. I'm gonna be real. If I showed you guys a video of the very first episode of the BKE podcast show and looking at how you see it now, you guys gonna see like the different change, right? And honestly, I wanna first thank my viewers because you guys have been a big part of the support. Like you guys watching every week, you guys just constantly interacting with me as it go. I also want to thank the special guest co-hosts that I've had on here. Since we started. From Logic, Step Got Jokes, Ray Boone from Snow. We got Jason Salvador. We got Justin. We got J. Dub Walker from Bad Boys Hitman. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had some great people, some great minds, and some great people. Even like Nicole. We have loyalty from Loyalty is Everything. Just like the women that I've had on here, the men that I have on here, like you guys are great. I want to thank you guys. I want you guys to give yourselves a round of applause. Without y'all, this shit
Yo,
wouldn't be what
yo,
it is.
you
You
know
know
what we
what I'm
should do, bro? This is what we should do. Let's get on our social media. Let's get on our social media. And let's promote. Let's promote over like you make it. You make the call on the CJ your Logic. Like let's say I mean right now it probably would be looking like it's going to be Virginia Slim, but I say we should do something where like over the next two shows, whoever has the most comments or the most active on the board can be a co-host for a night
Absolutely.
coming
It's
up.
honestly it's what I've been doing, you know what I'm saying? And I've been doing it lately because we just started with the new season and I just want to get everything, on and popping. But just definitely just like what I love to do, you know what I'm saying? So You guys heard right. You guys heard right. You know what I'm saying? So listen, like I said, our viewership is based on y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I do appreciate everybody who's been tuning in. So
Yeah, we're
in a
trying to
couple of
interact.
weeks,
We're trying to interact.
in a couple of weeks, this is what we're gonna do. In a couple of weeks,
And answer
we're
the
gonna we're
question.
gonna we're gonna we're gonna look back at the last few episodes. And I'm gonna personally go over like the people who has been interacting the most. Like Virginia Slim, like you've been right, man. You've been rocking with us for a long time, man. And like, man, we appreciate
Mhm.
it, man. It's been times where I've been live and Virginia Slim just like pop up out of nowhere. It's like, yo, CJ, salute. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, my bad, Virginia Slim. You know what I'm saying? My bad, Virginia Slim. That's where it's at. You know what I'm saying?
He's a real
Virginia
one.
Slim,
Shout out to
Virginia
Virginia
Slim, be
Slim.
Imma tell you something. This is why I respect Virginia Slim so much is that Virginia Slim has even been on my sports podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been live on my sports podcast plenty of times, and Virginia Slim came out of the blue. It's like, yo, CJ, salute, and I'm like, yo, that's what's up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like again, like y'all been my biggest support. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I definitely want to throw it out there to my woman. You know what I'm saying? Like she's been like my backbone. You know what I'm saying? Like she's been pushing me. Like she always tell me that I'm awesome. You know what I'm saying? That I'm amazing. It's like every day. You know what I'm saying? It's like every day she tell me I'm awesome. Tell me I'm amazing. And I believe that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I am awesome. I am fucking amazing. I am a fucking star.
Goddamn right
You know
you
what I'm
are.
saying? It start from you believing that shit. Like anybody can tell you that you're a star and that you're amazing, but you got to believe that shit on your own. So that's pretty much my
You
growth.
have to
You know what
believe
I'm saying?
everything on your
So
own, and that honestly, like that's why I got into that thing where we were talking about like if we want to start to teach people, and we're giving people all these lessons. I want to make sure that people understand. That's why I love what you just did here at the end of the show, where we give somebody like like what the goal was. You know what I mean today, recognizing your growth. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a step up in building up your confidence because that's one of the things that's happened to us as a people is we're beat down and we don't have any confidence in ourselves. Like we need everybody to be having their chest poked out, you know what I'm saying, and feeling good about what it is they're doing. You know what I mean? And not crouched over or any of that stuff like that. It's about how you present yourself. And
absolutely.
these are the steps that you got to take for us to start taking back the ground that we want and that we're fighting for. It's not like we're reclaiming any kind of ground. We're claiming ground for the first time. These grounds are not our grounds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And so
So we have to learn to be able to step into a room and tell them like, yo, I don't need to like just suggest something to you. I'm telling you what is good for you right now. Like,
absolutely,
period. And
absolutely.
that's all it is. They do. They just hit us with confidence. That's all they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about half the damn time.
Mhm.
It's just there is someone
Sure
else's
don't.
agenda. It's time that we implement our agenda. That's all it is, man. And the thing
Got
about
to.
it is you got
Got to, bro.
live wires like myself. You know what I'm saying? You got people that are a lot more stringent, like Logic. And then you got people like yourself that are just calm, and you can wrap things up. And you have the respect of everybody to keep things moving from topic to topic to topic. That's why I've never been successful at running a podcast because I'm so damn emotional. I just run with it, man. You're very very mellow, like man.
Yeah, man. Listen. Again, I definitely want to send out the appreciation to the viewers, man. You know, you guys are dope. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Salute to the ranters of the Ranters Union. You know, salute the Logic. Salute the Red Vision TV, the Red Vision TV fans who's possibly tuning in. I definitely appreciate y'all as well. We hope you see y'all every week throughout the week, every time. But before I let y'all go, I will also want to shed some light on Jason. Jason has a new project coming out. Cloth Talk, and he's looking to work with some independent artists. You know what I'm saying? So if you're an artist and if you're looking to collaborate, Jason is here. Jason going to drop his info and make sure that you guys definitely lock in with them. Make sure you lock in with them. So like I said, if you're an artist and you ready to put the work in, Jason is here. Jason, give me your
We'll get
information, man.
behind the single. We'll get you a video. We'll promote the hell out of the single and get you put out there. And then it's for you to run wild. But you'll get the proper promotion, you'll get the proper platform and the launch pad.
There you go. And how can
For
they find
sure.
you, Jason?
At redvisionmusic@gmail.com. Don't even have to send any music. Just say, hey, I want to be down with the project. And you can just send me something back and we'll see what happens from there.
There I
Just
go.
shoot over something saying I want to be on the project. And I'll send you a folder of music. Thank you for that, bro. Appreciate that.
Hey, no problem, man. Listen, we all work together. You know what I'm saying? We all work together. Um, it says I used Baja Panthers and got signed by Social Death for 24 hours. Oh man, y'all crazy.
That's that's the sponsor of the morning rant. It's a cologne called Baja Panties.
Okay.
Baja Panties.
Yep.
We need to
Hey,
start
look,
doing.
man.
We gotta do commercials for Baja Panties, man. This segment has been brought to you by Baja Panties.
Yeah, I mean, we got a commercial for it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, send that thing through, man. Send it through. You know. Listen, man. I'm gonna tell you this, man. I'm always down into promoting black-owned businesses, man, because
No doubt.
we all we got out here, man. We all we got out here.
Do you have any
You know
merch
what I'm
stuff
saying?
for the show yet?
I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. So, I'm working on getting some shirts, getting a hat, and man, and once I get all of this figured out, you and Logic is gonna be the first to get some merch. All right, we gonna get y'all kinged out.
I can create it. I can create it tonight if you want me to, bro.
Send it over.
Bandies, a magnetizing manly musk, hinted with a splash of lightly sweet floral scents that are native to North America. Perfectly engineered to turn heads and tickle her olfactory nerves. No poles are needed when fishing at the pub, but don't forget the bait. Baja Bandis. A 30-milliliter bottle gives you about 600 modest sprays of this new technology to convenience the alpha man in you. Baja Bandis. Get your bottle today. Baja Bandis.
Oh my god. Yo, I need that right now. I want to put that on the front of my Revision TV.
EBICbrand.com. All right.
That is the funniest shit I've seen in the long. Like, who created that?
So what I love about it though, is that we see a lot of perfume commercials, right?
Mhm.
And like what I love about it is it's a different aspect, it's a different perspective on like perfume and stuff. Like we see the usually perfume or they standing on top of a cliff and letting the wind go through their hair and shit. It's like, nah, man, you're not wearing the shit to be outside and shit to be standing on the top of the cliff and standing in the ocean and shit. Like is
You
that what
wearing,
you're doing? You know what I'm saying? Like
you
you
wearing
wearing it, you wearing
drop
it to
some
smell
bro.
good for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you wearing it, to smell good for yourself. You wearing it to make sure that whoever's wearing it definitely gonna drop them draws. All right, you know what I'm saying?
Baja Panties.
Baja La Panties, drop them draws.
That is
All
hilarious.
right.
That is
But man, y'all
hilarious.
know what it is, man. I want to thank you guys for definitely tuning in. It's been a pleasure, man. Guys, I love y'all.
Real
I
quick.
love y'all
Oh,
both
what we
for
gonna do?
tuning
What
in.
we gonna do? Like, I can make candles. And Red Vision Music makes candles. So, what y'all want Baja Panties to smell like? I will distribute the candle for Baja Panties. We have a fragrance.
So you make.
What y'all want?
I can put you in touch with the owner of the company.
Oh, it's a real
There you
company.
go.
There's a real
Yeah,
fragrance.
definitely.
Oh my god, I thought that was a spoof. That's amazing. She only
There's
came
a
up
real.
with the name Baja. I love it. What does it smell like?
Yeah.
Like the way it described, like with the earthly tones and all that shit.
I love honestly, I like those mild earthful tones, colognes. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, I'm definitely gonna check the website out. I definitely did write it in my URL bar, and I'm gonna copy it so I can make sure I
Salute the
have.
DBIC
Yeah,
brand.
definitely salute to DBIC. Definitely appreciate Logic for showing that. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely don't mind. Like I said, I don't mind supporting black-owned businesses, but again, man, thank you guys. I love y'all. Salute to the Ranters Union. Salute to Red Vision TV. It's your boy CJ here. I'm your host, man. You guys can always follow me at the BKE Podcast on Facebook and YouTube and on Twitter. All right. You guys know where to find me at. You know what I'm saying? You see Ja Logic's handle down there on IG at Ja_Logic. And you can find Jason at Red Vision
That's that
TV
Red
on
Vision
Instagram.
TV on Instagram. Yep.
There you go. There you go. If you wanna, I definitely wanna, wish you guys a great weekend. Make sure you guys be safe out there. Salute to the chat, everybody, you know what I'm saying? You guys have a great night. I'm gonna see y'all when y'all see y'all. I also want to let y'all know that in 2 weeks, it's gonna be my first in-person interview with Shasky. He was born and raised in New York, moved to DC. He did a lot of work for Rayful Edmonds and stuff like that. So he's gonna give his side of the story. He's gonna give his story on how he grew up in New York and moving down to DC and living here in DC. It's gonna be my first. It's gonna be like I said, my first actual in person interview. In the comfort of his own home and everything. So
Did he
it's
let him
gonna be
out yet?
real dope.
Is Rayful home yet?
Um, I did see something. If I'm not mistaken, I did see something about him possibly being released. I'm not sure if he got released yet. I think he did get released. In I think about the last year or two. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, man. So make sure that you guys get ready for that. It's in 2 weeks.
That's gonna be
2
exciting.
weeks.
That's gonna be
It's gonna be
dope.
very exciting. It's gonna be my first in person interview. I'm actually very excited on this. It's gonna be in the comfort of his own home. So I'm very excited for that. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No, you will kill it.
See,
You got enough experience. You're gonna kill that shit.
Word.
next week it's gonna be another it's gonna be one of those laid back situations. So definitely tune in. We're gonna have some funny moments. We'll have a lot of funny moments. The last couple of weeks we've been talking a lot about personal growth and things like that. But I also want to see, I want y'all to see the funny side of the BK podcast. So you guys is definitely gonna, it's gonna be like a laid back episode. So I hope you guys definitely tune in. We're gonna try to get Step Guy jokes in here. We're gonna try to get Larry Merchant in here as well. Of course, we're gonna try to get Ja Logic back if he's free. Jason, if you're free too, you know
I'm
what I'm saying? We're
here.
gonna
I'm
kick it.
here, bro. I'm here anytime you need me.
We're gonna kick it. We're gonna let y'all know how it goes, and you guys enjoy the rest of y'all night and have a great weekend. We see y'all when y'all see y'all. Peace out.